Welcome back to CubeCon 2023. We are finally here. This is the last draft of the entire event. This has been 4 days of cubing. Justin Parnell, Jonathan Brostoff. He's a coiled spring as we know it, just taking stuff off, going crazy. We've had an amazing weekend. There's over 400 cubers here. We've seen 9 cubes on coverage, but we're still not quite done.
We're not even close to being done because we have the ultimate experience coming up, the top 8 with one of the most exciting, amazing vintage cubes ever built. I am Team J-Bro, Jonathan Brostoff. This is Justin Parnell. This is CubeCon, and we are so happy to be here and to have you here. This has been arguably the most amazing experience of many people's lives. See?
Yeah. Well, and you were on the mic earlier with people here today, and there was someone who wanted to come celebrate their birthday for CubeCon. That's a one-time-a-year thing, and they were like, you know what? 2 one-time-a-year things, perfect together. So I can't imagine a better way to spend a birthday.
Once a year with Speck root beer, you know what I'm saying? So we had I just have to take one moment to just thank the most incredible judge staff probably ever assembled.
Oh, I mean, it's absolutely, I don't think that's safe to say.
And just to give a little bit peek behind the scenes, CubeCon, this convention of cubing, we're bringing people from all over the world, literally people from Bali, people from England, people from Canada, people from Texas, people from France, people from all over.
All the different countries, Texas.
Like Texas, as I'll tell you, are coming to cube in this space. And in order to create a space like this, there are a lot of logistical nightmares to prevent and to overcome, and we're able to do so because we have such incredible judge staff who are so dedicated. So huge thank you to them, Rob, Stefan, everyone, and I also want to say that we've had people just give the most incredible anecdotes of their experiences and testimonials, such as, right as I was coming over here, someone who I just met here for the first time said, oh my God, Jonathan, J-Bro, I have to tell you something. I said, what's that? He said, I've never been to a competitive tournament in my life. This is my first tournament.
And a lot of people like that.
And we've had
a lot of people like that this weekend.
He said, I've never been one. And I said, oh, well, thanks so much for coming. How was it? He said, this was amazing. I said, why? He said, I got to play Reed Duke on camera. And I beat him in one game, not the match, but he said I beat him in one game.
A lot of people can't even say that, though.
Yeah, and on camera, and he's just so blown away. He's like, "I'm coming next year. I'm bringing all my friends." It just warms my heart. Where can you experience something like that?
Incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, that's something that's a memory he's going to have for the rest of his life.
100%.
Incredible. And we've one of the things that we have been so proud to do, as you and I are both organizers of this event. We've obviously been in front of the camera. Because this is something we're very passionate about. We've had an incredible commentary team. It's not just us. It has been Andy Mangold. It's been Emma Partlow. It's been Jamie Topples. It's been David McDarby. And I want to shout out Becky Bell, who is not able to be here this week, but she helped us from this coverage standpoint, was initially going to be one of the commentators, wasn't able to make it, but she was also critical to this. I don't want to leave her out.
Yes, thank you, Becky. We hope to see you next year. We know you want to come back.
She'll be here next year.
Yeah, and thanks to Emma, thanks to Topple Popple, thanks to Andy and David. We have an amazing team, and thanks to you.
And thanks to you.
Thanks to me.
And you know what? Who else we need to really thank? We need to thank the NRG team.
Yes, absolutely.
This is the first time we've worked with them, and this is, I hope, is going to be a partnership we're going to be able to continue for years to come because they've been absolutely incredible.
Through the roof.
And they are really the reason that you're able to see the coverage in this way that has been so fantastic, so diverse. And, this is just our second year for CubeCon, and we hope that everyone can come next year, but we know you're not always able to.
Yes.
And if you're not, hopefully you've been able to watch coverage all weekend, maybe check a VOD, maybe check something on YouTube afterwards. And they are as big of a part of this as we are. So thank you to NRG. And please, if you're watching right now, please be sure to follow them here on Twitch.
Yes.
As they're going to continue to bring you excellent Magic coverage and events over the course of the entire year. And if you've seen the job they've done this week at CubeCon, that's the kind of job they do all the time.
Amen. Give them a follow. Make sure it's not hollow. And we also want to let people know that even if you can come here, you want the amazing coverage that Nerd Rage Gaming is providing. Why? Because like what this gentleman who just came up to me said, you're going to want to rewatch these matches on line and ad nauseum. I was in the tournament you set up for cubing and SCG.
That's true.
I watch it every year for inspiration.
Yeah.
Every time I'm feeling down, pop it on.
Yeah.
Oh, who's gonna win this time? Oh, me again.
That's
you know,
great.
I'm just saying. If you want that experience, Nerd Orange Games Fridays, come on down. Make it a habit. And I also just want to say huge thank you to all of our amazing sponsors who made this happen. We'll get into it later, but it's just,
I mean, I think they deserve another shout out
yeah,
too.
and in particular, the Nectar of the Heavens, Sprecher Root Beer. I'm just so thrilled. So I'm gonna take a little sip on that.
And I'll say, while J-Bro's taking a sip, there's no way J-Bro would have gotten through the weekend without Spreckers.
Yes, it's true.
I think I mean, it's not a blood alcohol level, but it's a blood Sprecher level, and I think you're probably in unsafe levels, but somehow
Yes.
still going.
I don't drink caffeine. I don't partake in a lot of stuff, but Sprecher gets me there and it gives me energy, and so does cubing. And just seeing all these people from all over, from different skill sets, different locations, coming together for this experience is really a thing of beauty.
It's fantastic, and
Now-
our big primary sponsors, Magic Online,
Magic Online,
Cube Heads,
Daybreak Games. Thank you.
Card Conduit.
Cube Heads.
Being able to incredible.
Yeah, we couldn't do this without them. Card
No.
Conduit, Card Castle. You guys believed in us from the jump, and we really appreciate you. We actually have the owner of Cube Heads here. He was
do.
getting a lot of great footage. If there's ever an amazing CubeCon documentary 10 years from now, you guys seen The Last Dance? What up with The Last Cube? You know what I'm saying? We're
I hope not.
Yeah.
I hope the last cube never happens.
Yeah. Well, I'll think. Yeah, that's a good point. I'll think. We'll working on
We'll workshop that.
We're
one.
workshopping it, but he's getting a lot of footage. He's got a lot of cool stuff going on. So just amazing sponsors. Thank you so much. And let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Who is the person that you are most happy that you like haven't seen in a long time, or maybe you haven't seen him a whole year from last year, something like that, that you're most happiest to see here?
I gotta say,
That comes to mind. I'm sure there's a lot.
Well, no, I got one. My good friend Vince Chandler, Pleasant Kenobi.
Yes.
So,
Pleasant Kenobi
Yeah,
from
I
across the pond.
reached out, and Vince and I were able to work it out. Obviously, very excited to come. Lives in England,
Yeah,
so
he does.
coming one of the most farthest away. But we had a chance. We got to hang out a ton this weekend. He's so passionate about Magic. He loves it.
Yes.
Loves Cube. And hopefully this is going to encourage him to continue to make more awesome Cube content.
Yes. Yes.
And, but yeah, it's so many people. There's so
Vince-
many people here. So
True. Vince is a good one. Although I'll let you know he was planning to come anyway because he was very interested in settling the score of the long-term rivalry between Wisconsin and England.
you're right. Yeah, I
So-
knew this was coming.
yeah.
I actually, if I had a timer before you brought this up,
He was not successful, thanks to me.
yeah. Well,
Was able to-
and as you noted, we have video coverage of
Yes.
that for eternity.
I've been watching all day. That's what I'm doing here. I'm right before this. I'm trying myself with it. But yeah, we're so happy with Vince, with Emma, with Dom Harvey, with the whole UK team. We got people from Scotland here. This gentleman was like, "Yeah, I love Cube. I don't maybe necessarily have the community do stuff like this over there and stuff like that. But came in, flew in just for this, flying right out. It's just so amazing. What an incredible experience.
I mean, it truly is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing like this.
And we've been, part of our job, and I'm gonna take off my commentary mask for a second. Part of our job, part of my job, is to get everyone excited for this event.
Hell yeah.
But I can also,
Not hard.
that's the thing. But I can also tell you that everyone is so excited to be here that it's absolutely it's so incredible. But the people that are the most excited to be here, I believe, are probably our top 8 competitors.
Yes.
And
the top 8 is great.
we are going to be covering the top 8. Michael Kilberry is going to be drafting the paper version of the MTGO Vintage Cube, the current version, and we are starting off
Oh
with a banger,
my.
J-Bro.
Wow, that is a banger. We have Time Walk and Orcish Bowmasters and Time Twister. Hachi Machi. Now,
Michael Kilberry looking around, making sure he didn't commit a crime opening that time walk. I can appreciate that.
that is not unlimited Time Walk, by
no,
the way.
that's a beta time
That
walk,
is
my friend.
a beta Time Walk. So we're starting out pretty strong.
While we're waiting on this second pack to come around, I want to give a shout out to Brian Kowal, who
Yes.
actually supplied this paper cube because it's tough to get a paper version of the MTGO Vintage Cube, and BK he came through to make sure that we could see these awesome cards in real life to give the players an experience they'll never forget.
Absolutely. Okay, so we got the. Oh my! We might be going for unlimited time.
Yeah, what's better than one time walk?
Wow. Okay.
Underworld Breach is
Can we pull
Michael
Underworld Breach up?
Kilberry's. Underworld Breach is Michael Kilberry's pick. Cool, playing it cool as a cucumber, but going time walk into Underworld Breach, I'm sure he'll find a way to get 3 other cards into his graveyard every turn, so he can just do that time walk over and over and over. And look at him, he's like. So what's happening right now is he knows everyone else is like taking time with their picks, and he had the 2 easiest picks maybe of his entire life.
Wow, this is insane. Okay, so I'm gonna let everyone on a little secret. As many people now know, I'm in a little draft league with LSV and some other notables, and the number 1 card outside of power you do not, absolutely never pass is Underworld Breach. And we're about to see a banger of a clang with this, I'm sure. It basically is one of the most powerful storm components. Oh, wow. Oh,
Now, we know if this was Caleb Durward, who's not in the top 8, he'd be making it.
wait. Was that, did we take?
Parallax Wave.
Okay.
Look,
Interesting.
for a man that's just drafted Time Walk and Underworld Breach, I'm not going to question Michael Kilberry on this pick of Parallax Wave.
So Parallax Wave, maybe we're going for a combo enabler. We could be going, if we get like
Maybe trying to get Eternal Witness.
Eternal Witness,
Yeah.
Flicker Wisp, we can do some stuff. Not necessarily the pick I would have assumed out of that pack, because there's also.
What would you have taken?
I think the Tutor is probably where you want to be.
Mystical Tutor.
Sorry, Mystical Tutor, because we're looking at, storm opportunities. We want to get Brain Freeze. We want to and okay, let me line up the reason why Underworld Breach is so powerful. With Brain Freeze, Underworld Breach, and Lion's Eye Diamond, you're basically able to win on the spot, as long as there's no Eldrazi or something like that imposed. Wait.
It looks like we have now taken a Winds of Abandon, which is a removal spell. You know what this tells me? Michael wants to be in white and just happened to pick the 2 most powerful cards in the previous packs.
So, okay, I have laser focus on drafts I've been doing with this cube, so it's hard for me to see outside the box. What's happening here, I believe, is a value breach, not a combo breach.
Right.
So this is just
right now.
Right now, we could still pivot to combo, but this might just be a breach for value, for getting just a second time walk in your deck, which is also pretty darn good. But yeah, this is looking like pretty. He wants to be in white, pretty hardcore here.
Yeah, I mean, if we're picking white cards now, Parallax Wave and Winds of Abandon, solid white cards.
Oh, they're on the spot wins.
Right, no question about that.
Yeah.
They can, especially you're able to clear an entire board with just those 1 cards out of a single spell.
Yes.
But you are passing up some other things that might be more powerful with your first couple picks, but putting yourself in that lane if you know that this is your highest comfort level that you have the most success with.
Absolutely.
J-Bro, you pick a white card famously higher than most people, but probably everybody else in the entire world. So let's give Michael some credit here.
That's true. That's true. And we have okay. So
yep. So here we
we're
go.
in the lane.
Right.
We're in the lane.
So
I like it.
Okay. So let's recontextualize this. Michael knew he was going to be in white,
Yes.
but smart enough to say, "Well, I'm not going to pass Time Walk."
Yes.
And this is Vintage Cube. I can splash easily.
Yeah,
That's not a big deal.
There's Triomes, there's Dual Lands, there's Fetch Lands. Absolutely.
Right.
And I also want to say huge shout out. We have a very special guest joining us. We have Michael's partner in chat,
Awesome.
watching live.
Well, hopefully they enjoyed that Usher of the Fallen pick from Michael in the last pack. And okay, so now we have a Talisman of Progress.
Some fixing.
Talisman of Progress,
ramp,
which is, it's going with. You gotta make white mana and blue mana for your picks so far.
Absolutely, and
we passed up an upheaval to do it, which kind of goes to Talisman of Progress. I don't know if that's what Michael's plan is with that Usher of the Fallen pick.
Yep.
Quite an aggressive white 1-drop.
Yep. Fantastic. We have some fans of yours on chat as well. I'm looking on my phone because we don't have it on the coverage, so I'm going to be following chat. But big fans, happy to see you back in the booth.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that they're happy that I'm here.
Yes.
I would imagine we're going to see a Sparse headquarters. What do you think?
Well, I think we might be looking at. I mean, the headquarters makes a lot of sense. I think we might be looking at the Planeswalker here, or another an untapped dual. Okay, going for the headquarters.
So the Planeswalker being Karn, Scion of Urza.
Yeah. Okay.
But we're going to go with the Sparse headquarters.
Makes sense.
That fixing for white and blue, we know he's got that. And, you know, maybe we are looking at trying to get an Eternal Witness or something like that to get it back out of the graveyard.
Not mad at that at all. So while we have, okay, so Jenny is the wife of Michael, who's in chat with us. Jenny, let me ask you this. Is Michael usually an aggressive white weenie player? Is that the comfort zone? That looks like what we see. Okay, and we have some great opportunities here.
He really likes that Elite Spellbinder.
Oh, Elite Spellbinder is fantastic.
Yeah.
And especially, White Weenie is significantly advantaged with the Time Walk because even getting, a 1/1 on the table and getting that couple extra damage in, or being able to get a board state where you ramp to your 6 so you can win so abandon their whole table, it's good in every single deck, I suppose. But the Tempo White deck really can apply the pressure and push hard.
Right.
All right, what do we like in here?
Well, we have an Armageddon, and if he's wanting to be this Tempo White deck, that's got to be a card he's looking at, but I don't see it getting pulled to the front of the pack. Maybe an Unexpectedly Absent.
Unexpected Absent is great in White Weenie.
Yeah.
It does so much, especially against greens. Being able to put an elf back on top, especially if you're on the play.
Right.
Oof. Hachi machi.
All right, we have pulled the Armageddon slightly to the front, but Michael he took that Winds of Bandit high, so maybe Unexpectedly Absent is coming soon.
I think we want the absence here. This
Okay.
is fantastic. It's versatile. It's worth your while, and especially if we are looking for some sort of Parallax Wave, Blink, E-Witness, something. It's good for that. And also there's a 3-mana blue creature. It's a 1/1, and it gets instance of 2 casting cost.
Spellseeker.
Spellseeker. So Unexpectedly Absent, good with that as well. The X counts for 0. Ooh.
All right, now
Okay.
All right, we have a Soul Herder. Now, I would imagine this is kind of the thing Michael's slightly been setting himself up to. He picked that early Parallax Wave, and he goes with the Soul Herder.
There
All right,
we go.
plan's starting to come together
It's
now.
coming
Starting to
together.
come together.
Michael's is galaxy braiding us. That maybe. Oh, you know what? Maybe it was a hate pick. Underworld Breach. Maybe he just knows the power.
Nah, I think life's going to find a way, and Michael might have a chance to get it. Now, here's the cards Michael passed on. We see a Time Warp if he wants to take extra turns.
Oh.
A Counterspell to maybe be a little bit defensive. What do you want?
I'm Windmill Slamming the Time Warp here. Also, having multiple Time Walks allows you to cast the first one earlier and more aggressively, which is great. But I'm Windmill Slamming Time Warp here. He's also looking at Counterspell, a classic. Okay, Counterspell wants some disruption. If your opponent's comboing off and you don't got no way to deal with it, it doesn't matter how many white creatures you got on the board. So not mad at the Counterspell. It's a preference thing. I think they're of about equal power. Counterspell's probably a little bit better, but preferentially I prefer the other. Okay, so nothing.
So we got a couple of. This is a very Jundy pack. We have Liliana of the Veil. We have Garruk Wildspeaker.
The red spell does provide us with one more Time Walk.
That's true. Mizzix's Mastery can flashback Time Walk. Could have flashback that Time Warp at the same time if you can get to that. Gonna go with the Garruk Wildspeaker. Maybe not necessarily the plan, but the draft could go in a different position, and Garruk is a certainly powerful enough card to main deck in most situations that you have access to green.
Wow! Oh my, that is bonkers.
This is a very late Jace Brent's Prodigies, and that's such an excellent card to flash back that Time Walk that Michael picked up, following it up with a Sower of Temptation, firming him back into blue.
Oh my.
Can you imagine getting a 13th and then 14th pick Sower of Temptation, followed by a Karn Scion of Urza? Those are some pretty solid wheels that I think Michael might really be considering. Well, okay, maybe I need to adjust back into blue. Blue and white is my primary 2 colors here.
Fantastic. And we did get the Karn. Wonderful. This is looking great. Wow. Okay, so we have the makings of a blue-white tempo deck that has a lot of interaction with Counterspell, Soar Temptation, but that Soul Herder is the most impressive part because...
And Elite Spellbinder. That's a lot of good interaction.
Yeah, and we still might be getting a Thraben Inspector. You know what's going with Soul Herder?
So that's the main thing that you're really looking at.
Yes.
Now, I know you're going to pick Thraben Inspector over just about everything.
Yes.
It's like Black Lotus, Thraben Inspector, and then like all the other magic
Thraben
cards.
Inspector is hard to pass. You know what else we'd like to see in a deck like this? Would be 4th Urlings.
4th Aerolingus.
Yeah, Erlingus. I'm terrible with names and pronunciation. I know what all the cards do, though.
4th Aerolingus, also pretty nice with Underworld Breach.
Yes, exactly.
Let me just take that Monarch back.
Yep. And on top of that, we're kind of getting, we have a little bit of ramp. We're kind of like we're not the hyper aggressive mono white version of this.
No.
We're in a more mid-rangey build up version, and this is there we go. We got some more Spark enthusiasts. Let's go. This is really exciting. Okay, going into pack 2, outside of power like Ancestral Recall or White Ancestral Recall.
Right.
What would we like to see here?
That's a white Ancestral Recall.
Or
I
Raven
mean,
Inspector. Sorry.
I mean, realistically,
I would like to see an Urza.
Urza would be good.
Oh,
Ooh, what about the One
wow.
Ring though?
One to rule them all.
And
one
that-
ring not to stall.
And the One Ring, we have a Sensei's Divining. Oh, the Divining Top. All right, that one caught me out of left field. That one caught me out of left field.
There's a blue creature for 3 that's a 2/2 that can summon it, I suppose. Sometimes top is better when you have like the 2/4. You can look at top of your library and play lands or stuff like that.
Well, we also want to. Now,
Tinker.
it doesn't really change the dynamic of wanting to draft fetch lands. You always want to draft those. Those are
Yeah,
generally pretty good.
it
Maybe a
makes
little bit
fetch lands
better with top. But yeah, that was a unexpected pick for me.
I'm surprised, but Michael, he's been right so far. We got Time Walk, we got Soul Herder. He knows what he's doing. He's in the driver's seat.
Right.
But yeah, this is so fun. Oh man, and One Ring is just awesome. At
It
the end-
is, yeah.
So can we pull that up actually?
The
Let's-
One Ring, the famous, the
famous.
only, the One Ring. Now, what are we gasping at? We saw an Elspeth Knight Errant that's
I'm
in
windmill
white.
slamming. We have a land that taps for. There's a Elspeth, I suppose.
Elspeth Knight Errant. Now, I think we might be looking at the Mishra's Workshop. Had we drafted the One Ring,
Oh wait,
we drafted Sensei's Divining Top.
wait, that wasn't 2 different packs.
It was the
Oh my god!
just picked it.
My brain just stopped my mind from understanding what happened. Was that we passed One Ring for top?
Well,
Or was it two
Michael
different-
did. I'm not going to co-sign on it.
Okay, I'm told. I that might have been a traumatic experience that just blocked it out of my mind.
Michael committing to the white-blue mid-range
mean-
deck that he's been drafting with this Elspeth Knight Errant pickup.
Well, statistically speaking, if you pass the One Ring, it is more likely to come back. So maybe
Well,
that's the plan.
If it comes back to Michael and he takes it on the wheel, I think we don't need to do coverage for the rest of the time because Michael clearly is seeing 12 steps ahead of what
It's
we're
that
doing.
galaxy brain. I mean, the ring knows its true master. The ring knows where
Right.
to go. It finds its master. Wow, incredible! What a sequence! I did not even understand.
Well, I love a strip mine. I pretty much love a strip mine all the time.
Strip Mine's pretty great. There is also Flash here, one of the most powerful cards in the cube right now. It can make 15 power turn 2 happen.
Well, you know what a great card with Flash is too, is if you already have a Parallax Wave, so flash
Yep,
something in.
yep.
Oh, it's going to be gone. Actually, it's not. Let me Parallax
Absolutely.
Wave this out.
Fantastic.
Looks like he's going to take a Shark Typhoon. That's a solid mid-range card. He's really been wanting to focus on this group in the middle of
Yes.
making sure that he can control the game, provide some large threats, a little bit of card advantage.
We're going for consistency. I also think Strip Mine is a very powerful pick here for the type of deck we're talking about, and any deck in general. Because
Yeah.
the thing about this cube is, its 3-color mid-rangey decks are really strong.
Right.
Because the mana fixing is so good.
Exactly.
But disrupting a Triome, taking out a man land, does so much damage as well, conversely.
Yeah.
So,
White aggressive decks also have one of the best ways to utilize Strip Mine.
Right. By putting lots of creatures that attack with it.
Yeah, but it's the best color to do it in this cube, and
Yep.
Michael definitely has some leanings on that, but he's really focusing on the mid-range stuff. Now, we see a Displacer Kitten.
Ooh.
Maybe you want to go with the more blink. That seems like a reasonable pick for Michael. Also looking at a Rafine's Tower to continue his fixing.
If this is me, I'm win. Okay, meow meow.
Get the Displacer Kitten.
Yeah, taking it right meow. If it's me, I'm windmill slamming the Mox. I love Crow Mox.
Crow Mox, yeah.
I am just thrilled to get that here because one of the things in white and blue is you do have card advantage. You do have tempo,
Right.
but it takes a while to get there. And we're rocking against elves when you got Dark Ritual in the format, Moxes, or other types of Moxes rather. It definitely helps to be able to give up a little bit of card advantage. Okay.
I see two really good cards here that I like. Adeline and Jace the Mind Sculptor.
We've
Adeline,
also got-
Resplendent Cathar.
And we've also got Days and we've got White Reclamation Stage.
We do take the Adeline Resplendent Cathar.
Very good. Not mad at that. It's no Burmaz, but it's pretty good.
Oh.
It's probably a little bit better than
I'd
Burnout.
say it's a step or two above the cat. But you
Yeah.
know what?
We already have one cat for the deck. We don't need to.
That's
They'd
right.
just be fighting each other the whole time.
Exactly. So with Adeline, J-Bro, what are you looking for now? Because that is a powerful card. One of the most powerful aggressive 3-drops in the cube.
Yes.
So what are you looking at after you draft?
Well,
that?
you want Lightning Greaves. That's the number one equipment to pair with
Excellent
it. But
call.
also, just a lot of little creatures. And by the way, Jace, little known fact, 0/2 creature can attack. So
can.
there might be situations where you want to make a little 0/1 with that.
Well,
I'm sorry.
We got a Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, very quick pick.
Not mad at that.
So really, Michael, really loving these 3, 4, and 5 drops. We've seen a lot of those. Now, that actually goes back to your point of really wanting that Chrome Mox and things like that because, those decks can be successful, but the speed needs to go up. Now, J-Bro, you called that Lightning Greaves.
Oh,
okay,
never mind.
But but we're going to take a Teferi Time Raveler,
Yes.
which I think we can both agree a little bit better than Lightning Greaves.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it better than Lightning Greaves, but for this deck, I would
Contextually.
I would much rather have Teferi.
Right.
It is does so much and asks so little, especially in a deck with a lot of creatures, where you can, and we might even see, we haven't seen Wall of Omens, but it's good with Soul Herder. We might need some other protections with it. Does a lot of work. Okay.
We have a Baral. We have a Venser, Shaper Savant. That would be my easy pick is
Windmill
Venser here.
Salmon Venser.
You've set yourself up for Venser.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been,
Is Venser good with Soul Herder?
I think a little bit is.
Why?
Because it makes you blink everything.
That's right.
It blinks itself. It blinks everything. Oh, you played a spell? No, that's going to get bounced back to your hand. You played a creature? Bounce back to your hand.
Yep.
You tried to remove me? Move one of my creatures? Bounce back to my hand. And do it all over again with both Soul Herder and Parallax Wave.
Every single turn. And it's getting bigger each time. Oh, wow. There's White Remand.
All right.
Ooh, that is a
Remand
gift.
is great. Well, here's the thing. There's a Volcanic Island in this pack, and I actually think you might not think you're going to play the Underworld Breach, but not taking a 10th or 11th pick Volcanic Island is basically saying you're absolutely not, and there's still a lot of draft left to go. So, Reprieve, an excellent card, and that was Michael's pick here. I would have really wanted to draft that Volcanic Island because you want to open yourself up to have the most powerful possible deck, and that's going to be critical with mana fixing.
Well, not only that, there's still 4th Yorlings in the format. There's the 5-mana 3/3 flyer with haste that makes 2/2 rebels.
Or Othari.
Oh, sorry. There's there's still Dark Fade in. There's still a lot of play you can have in a white.
In a Jeskai style deck.
And we see Brian Cowell, the hero of the season, coming in with the pizzas for all of us. Yay!
Michael's not going to get to have any pizza because he's got to draft and he's got to really sew this up together. Flash is back, but he's going to take Seal of Removal, and J-Bro's just beside himself in the booth.
Well, Seal Removal is great with Loris. It's also great with a 3/4 Angel that can get stuff with 3 or less CMC back from your graveyard. So there is, okay, and we get the
Rafine's Tower.
His Rafine's Tower, not mad at that.
Reasonable, yeah.
Seal of Removal can do some work.
Now, here's the thing. Did you see the card he passed? He passed an Ephemeral.
Flat. Oh, really?
He did, very quickly.
Well, that's also quick.
And see, okay, another good point. Had we had that Volcanic Island, this would be a very easy expressive iteration pick, which if you're drafting a mid-range deck, there's not many 2-cost cards that provide card advantage better than expressive iteration, but we're going to go with the Vraska, not going to make our deck.
And I have to
Vraska Golgari.
I have to take 1 minute in the booth here. I'm sorry, stream. We got to take a minute to thank our wonderful other special guest. We have Riley in the house, Michael's daughter, wishing her father good luck. Go ahead, Riley. Your dad is doing great. Top 8 in CubeCon. How many people can say that? What, 50, 60? I don't know. How many people in the top 8?
8.
8 people. Out of 8 people, your dad making it happen. Mazel tov.
Picks up the Elish Norn Grand Cenobite with his last pick.
Okay, Elish Norn.
Not a bad 15th.
Not a bad 15th.
With where Michael's at.
And could be a good sideboard option. Yeah, there's work to be done there. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got a lot of mid-rangey, control-y stuff going on. This deck has got both Teferi's Time Walk. This deck is looking pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think so for Michael to turn this deck into a high impact deck that can sustain a lot of the other quite powerful things that his opponents are likely to be doing, both from like a Tinker perspective, reanimating, playing stuff early with Channel. He really needs more interaction. I think Michael is kind of lacking on the interaction. He has a couple of removal spells. He's got like one counter spell, but he really needs to be able to stop people from doing the broken things so he can do the fair things very consistently. And we do see a Mox Ruby not being opened by Michael, but the person to his right looks like that was their pack one, pick one, as well as finding a Strip Mine. Ooh, a Strip Mine and a Wasteland. I want to see that deck.
Oh, I'm sorry. Michael Giehold is the dad. Well, Mazel Tov. Michael
There's
Giehold's
two. We have
doing
two Michaels in the
two
draft.
Michaels.
We have Michael Gilhood
Or Gilhood, excuse
and
me.
Michael Kilberry. Two Michaels. Two great flavors that taste great together.
Fantastic. Well, that is pretty cool.
I like this
that-
deck to the right. That was a Omnath, Expressive Iteration, Strip Mine, Wasteland, Mox Ruby.
Wow.
That's my kind of magic over there.
Love to see it. Love to see it. And was
And
there Mox in there?
That was Mox Ruby. That's Andrew Jabs.
The Jabber Dabber.
Yeah.
Incredible record.
He did. Best record of anyone in the top 8 this week.
Absolutely. And his wife joined us for the Capital Tour. We took some time to get a little civic engagement on and go meet with some of our wonderful progressive legislators here in Wisconsin.
All right, let's see what Michael opens on. We have a Mana Crypt.
Wow.
Okay. This is the thing. You need speed. Michael, take this Mana Crypt.
Mana Crypt.
I'm going to channel it into your brain.
You know what? In this format, I take Mana Crypt over Soul Ring, and I have.
And he really needs to take it over this. Look, I love a Phyrexian Metamorph.
And especially if you pass it to the aggressive red deck next to it.
Yeah. Mana Crypt has to be the pick. But we're going with Phyrexian Metamorph over Mana Crypt. If it were me, I would want to be playing my powerful 4 and 5 drops as early as possible, and that might have been the best shot in the entire cube to do it. And Michael says he wants to go.
Never mind.
All right,
I'm just going to
Michael.
get past an on-color
Michael, don't make me kick myself out of the booth. All right. So we're going to take a Mox Pearl. Thank the Lord.
What is going on?
I don't know whatever the Theros gods you pray to, Michael. What's the white? Afara? The white and blue god?
Coming through.
Afara's coming through for Michael right now.
Wow, that is incredible. Michael with the genius brain. And also, I mean, the argument against taking... That's right.
Thank you. Thanks, Afara.
Yeah, thanks, Afara. Bless up, homie.
Our last sponsor of CubeCon, apparently.
That's the other reason, because this deck is not going to, as aggressive as some of the creatures are, like New Burmaz, it's not going to kill people quickly. And we did see the Lion's Eye Diamond, right?
We did. He just
Earlier.
passed it. We have
And we saw
Lorraine Revealed, which is one of these new cards. Land Cyclers, very, very powerful. He's got some Triomes that can help fix his mana.
And we also see, Brain Freeze. Okay.
Brain
so
Freeze.
so we could have seen the deck come together.
Yeah,
theoretically.
The tools were there.
The tools are there.
But Michael wanted to go in a different direction, wanted to be a little bit more consistent.
He's going to a whole nother tool shed.
And we're gonna pick a Brainstorm.
Not mad at that.
Now Michael has no ways to shuffle his library.
True. Pass it. I probably would have liked the land cycler. In fact, I often played above a land or, instead of a land. But I would also say that we are not on the same wavelength. Michael and I are completely different wavelengths right here.
What do you think about this Tundra?
Ooh, I am not mad at that.
Yeah, we need that Tundra pick.
We need the Tundra.
We need the Tundra.
Had both.
Not really passing up anything in that pack either, so that's a great Tundra.
No, and we're close to the amount of playables we need. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get the playables we need in this next couple packs.
Right.
So not taking the Mana Crypt might be justifiable in that the deck is not super aggressive. It has some aggressive creatures, but it's not killing very quickly, and it is certainly possible that Mana Vault can kill you. Like, you get a good aggressive, you get a lot of cool stuff going on. You're gaining life, you're bouncing this, bouncing out, whatever. But
It
eventually,
can and will. We've
can
all
and
seen it a lot of times.
It can definitely happen. Now, Michael does have 3 things to take care of it already. Venser, both to fairies.
Right.
So there are opportunities if it were to come down to it. But overall, maybe that's the mindset. Oh, wow. We have,
Weathered Wayfarer, we see a miscalculation.
Always
We see a
see your math.
Savine's Reclamation. What do you like here?
I think we take Savine's, but Miscalc's also quite good. Is there a fetch? Was there a Windswept Heath earlier? I couldn't see.
I don't think that was a Windswept Heath. I think that was a different land. But
Gotcha. If there's a Windswept
don't
Heath,
quote me on that, chat.
okay. If there's a Windswept Heath, I'm windmill slamming that.
Yeah.
But I think we take Miscalc here. I want some more early interaction.
And that's where I am. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And I also okay, so we didn't see the windswept heath. That was my bad. Okay, so we got. Oh, we're going back
Back
and
to
forth.
Savine's. Yeah, so if I'm Michael with this
Can we pull
blue-white
up Savine's reclamation?
Savine's Reclamation, if I'm Michael, I am looking for interaction straight away.
Oh, he's looking at the batter skull as a speculative pick if there's the 1/2 that gets Stone
Stoneforge Mystic, yeah, but we are going to go
Okay.
with the miscalculation. I think that's you're a nice pick here in this pack.
Hey, I like that. Although Savine's reclamation. Oh, and we see the.
Oh, God, Golos and Field of the Dead in the same pack.
No, there's
Unbelievable.
the 15/15, and we have the flash. We have the flash.
I don't
Take
think
the 15/15.
Michael's not going to take that. I'm going to be honest with you, Jay Bro. I just don't want you to get so upset. That's just not
I
on his
can't
radar.
handle it.
It's not on Michael's radar. He's not playing the Flash. He's going to play really consistent Magic. Okay, he's going to cast things that cost 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go about his day.
Wow.
I would
Wow.
love to see this Rona Herald of Invasion here. That's an excellent looter that could help Michael get to where he needs to be, but he keeps looking at this Underworld. Flame of the West is a really powerful equipment, but how much is Michael really going to be attacking?
Well, it's also one where we don't necessarily have like. Oh, okay. So
Oh, we do go the Rona.
I
Okay.
like it. I like
Yeah.
it. Rona,
That's good. That's good for Michael. He
Yes.
does need that.
get to your time.
Oh, Brazen Bar. This is a
Wow, what a gift.
This is simple pick, and he needs interaction. A great threat. Brazen Borrower ends a surprising amount of games just as a 3/1 flyer. As we know, longtime cube heads like myself and J-Bro, Vidillion Click as a 3/1 flyer with Flash has ended
good.
a lot of games, and Brazen Borrow is basically the new school way to do that.
So good. And also just a little bit of disruption in this cube, a little bit of tempo play can go a long way.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm being told by Chet we didn't actually have the flash. My brain, again, is just like, it's just shortcutting to what I would do, I suppose. Okay.
Well, we might have a Hullbreaker Horror right here as Michael considering that, but probably trying to think about
Probably
his
not playing
deck
either
total.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a Sun Titan and a Hullbreaker Horror.
If we're going to play one of these, it's... okay.
It's going to be the Hullbreaker Horror, J-Bro.
That is not what I was going to say, but... all right. I'm all over the place this time. I don't know what's going on. It's all exciting, though. This is CubeCon. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
You can pass up making 15/15s turn 2. You can get past non-color mocks. CubeCon!
Well, Michael has decided he wants to play Fair Magic, and he's going to try to make everybody else play Fair Magic. That's been his plan since the beginning of the draft when he
Well-
picked that Parallax Wave with his third pick.
I wouldn't say since the beginning, because the beginning was a Underworld Breach.
Okay, since
So that
since
is-
the third pick. Since the third
From the
pick.
beginning, I thought we were getting something totally different. Ooh, very nice.
All right, so
very
this
nice.
is Michael's opening pack. We have a
Fantastic.
Celestial Colonnade. Michael, wield that Celestial Colonnade.
What a master. Picking the lanes, forcing the colors, making sure everyone knows exactly what's popping. That's what I'm talking about, baby. All right, let's see if we can get some of that pizza because I'm starving. Hold on one second.
All right, so we are now seeing a Ledger Shredder. Ledger Shredder going in. That's going to be one of Michael's most aggressive 2-drops and actually one of his most aggressive cards. Michael is not a deck that is able to double spell too well. That could be one of the problems with Ledger Shredder. Oh my gosh! And then we get the Lorien revealed on the wheel. That's going to easily make Michael's deck excellent
Yes.
mana fixing. Going to be able to pick
Fantastic.
up 3 cards if you cast it for its alternate casting cost of 5 mana.
Also, shuffles for Brainstorm.
Yeah, that's
Also-
his first shuffle.
Yes, and
Congrats, Michael.
And also, in a pinch, can draw 3 cards.
Yeah, the alternate casting
Sometimes-
cost of draw 3.
Yeah, sometimes. Oh, wow.
Wow.
We have.
Well, you know what? I'll give Michael credit. He scared everybody else out of blue-white.
He knew what he was
nobody else in blue and white cards.
Yes.
That is just Michael.
Fantastic.
He was considering the Weathered Wayfarer. He's going to take it now.
Riddle me this. What do you think was taken over the Mox? Was there another piece
Mox.
of power? Okay. Another Mox. Okay. Another on-color power. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Well, we know that for sure because the player to the right, Andrew Jabs, we know he has Omnath. Michael with a 14th pick Treasure Cruise as well. That's something to write home about. But we know that Andrew Jabs, the player to the right, has Omnath, the 4-color Omnath specifically. So white is something he would need. So I would imagine that we have another piece of power, maybe Black Lotus, maybe Ancestral Recall, maybe a different color Mox that Andrew needed more But what we're going to do right now is we're going to check out the rest of our players. We saw Michael Kilberry draft.
Yes, fantastic.
Michael Kilberry, obviously, one of 8 players in the top 8. These players have worked so hard to get here.
And they overcame some great odds. We're talking about Reed Duke, Caleb Durwood.
Well, I'm actually glad you brought that up.
Please.
Because the first person we're going to talk about is Allison Battisti.
Yeah, we are.
Yesterday, Allison was in a pod where she beat Caleb and Theo.
Oh, wow. Theo Zhang.
Oh, I'm
amazing
sorry.
player.
That was not yesterday. That was today to make top 8.
Oh, wow. Even more impressive. Performing under pressure.
So Allison beat Caleb and Theo to make top 8. Allison, her favorite cube at CubeCon, Museum of Modern.
Fantastic.
It's been a very popular cube here.
Absolutely.
She won the Museum of Modern cube and the Cascade cube. The Cascade cube is the one she used to make top 8. Big Snapcaster Mage fan. Who could argue with that?
Allison knows what's up.
The card that pulled the most weight for her this weekend was Tamishi, Reality Architect. That's the 2/3 from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. You can pay X and a white to return a land you control to your hand.
Okay.
To return
I don't know this card.
an artifact or enchantment from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Okay, so that seems insane.
It's a very powerful card. Yeah.
I've never even heard of it, but that seems wonderful.
Allison from Baltimore, Maryland. Her most memorable weekend, we talked about this a little bit. So, in the Baltimore crew,
Yes.
and there's about 15 of them here.
And they're amazing.
And
led by their champion.
Andy Mangold and Anthony Maddox.
Yes.
And so Allison was telling me that she spent the nights of CubeCon in the hotel playing Super Smash Brothers with all Super Smash Brothers, the most recent one. I'm not a big video gamer. I think it's Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
All of them are awesome.
Great.
Whatever it was, they're having fun.
In the hotel room.
Nice.
And Andy Mangold is apparently very good at it.
Yes.
And she said that she beats Andy Mangold in Magic but loses to him in Super Smash Brothers. And I said I would take that.
Yes. If you're going to do one or the other, I'll take the Magic.
Right.
Also, apparently 2 Australian Shepherds.
And she does dog sports with them.
That's awesome.
She does dog sports with them. And so that's things like if you've ever seen the dogs that are running on the platform and you throw like a frisbee and they jump off and get it into the water.
Yes.
Like jump super far. That's what she does.
My kids do that with me sometimes.
Right. And I bet the Australian Shepherds jump just a little bit farther than you.
Yes, that seems likely.
Probably so. Who do we have next up in our top 8? Let's find out.
I think we're looking at the Jabber Dabber. Let's go.
Andrew Jabs from J-Bro, you want to pronounce this hometown?
Yeah, that's Sugar Tugger Tybee, New York.
Great. Socrates, New York. Favorite cube at CubeCon is the Bun Magic Cube.
Can't go wrong with the Bun
Andy
Magic.
Mangold, the lowest curving cube, the most representative cube of everything.
Tappy, one sec, we have an announcement to make. Tappy Toe Clops is making her exit and screaming CubeCon at the top of her lungs, and people are responding. Very good.
So, favorite cube at CubeCon, Bun Magic Cube. Do you know why that is?
Because it's awesome.
Andrew also trophied in it 2 times this weekend.
2 times?
Including the one to make top 8.
That's statistically unlikely for so many reasons.
It certainly is. But,
Wonderful.
But Andrew Jabs was able to do it. Derek's Cube and the Tempo Cube were the other 2 that he trophied with.
Nice.
During CubeCon. 4 trophies. That's a pretty good amount to hang your hat on.
Wonderful.
His favorite MTGO Vintage Cube card is Containment Priest.
Containment Priest could never contain these beats. Let's begin.
Well, it does do a good job of containing creatures coming back from exile, maybe something that's been blinked, maybe something that's coming back from the graveyard, maybe something's coming about being tinkered in.
Yeah, or Parallax Wave.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Yep.
So that's going to be a good card if he plays Michael Kilberry. But the card that pulled the most weight is one of my favorite Magic cards of all time,
Wasteland.
Wasteland.
Oh, fantastic.
I love it.
Why is that one of your favorite cards?
I don't like my opponent to have fun.
Yes, I love it.
I want to have all the fun.
I'm into it.
Yeah, so it's like I'm stealing fun from them.
Yes, fun is often zero sum in Magic, especially when land destruction's involved.
I want people to have fun, like, overall. I just don't want them to have fun in the context of the moment. Andrew also has 2 cats, Wesley and Buttercup, named after, I would imagine, the Princess Bride. That's right. All right.
True love. He's saying to believe.
Next
To
up,
bluff.
we have our 3rd top 8 competitor, and that's Eric Carr from Bloomington, Minnesota.
Also came to the Capital Tour with us. I'm getting a theme here. Come to the Capital Tour, you're top 8.
Wow.
I would highly recommend going to my Capital Tour. You get a lot of civic engagement and a lot of less enragement because you top 8. Fantastic.
Clearly, Eric's favorite cube on the weekend was the Devoid Cube. That is a
Ooh.
desert-style cube. You have to draft your lands, but that suited him very well. He trophied with the Creatureless Cube, which we covered on yesterday, and the regular cube, which we covered yesterday.
That's awesome.
Now, unfortunately, Eric does not have his favorite MTGO Vintage cube card because that's Time Walk. We know who has that. That's Michael Kilberry.
It's a pretty good one, though.
It's a good one.
I'm not mad at that.
Nature's Chant card that pulled the most weight for him over all the cubes this weekend. So Nature's Chant, some of you might not know, it is from Modern Horizons. It is a hybrid white or green and a colorless destroy target artifact or enchantment. Very easily main deckable in a lot of different cubes to deal with pesky artifacts and enchantments.
Interesting.
Yeah. Fun fact, he's a big gearhead. Car enthusiast. Loves it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to George next. Wonderful. A Wisconsin native.
George Lowry the third from Naperville, Illinois. Now,
Yes.
he is repping the Madtown.
He's a Madison. We're claiming him. He's a Wisconsin guy.
All
He's
right,
a Madison guy.
That's fine. He repped it. So his favorite cube on the weekend was the Cons Expanded
Oh,
Cube.
fantastic choice.
Yeah,
what a wonderful cube.
Multiple people have selected that as their favorite. Had a lot of trophies this weekend. Tulsamere Cube, that's the green-white cube. Cons Expanded Cube, and Emma's Peasant Cube, which we saw play for top 8 on coverage. So he was in the booth right before this, so we know that he beat my pick to win this whole event, Ivan Meyer.
Yes.
I picked him the very beginning of the event,
Yep.
and that's over Reed Duke. That's over Caleb Durward.
And he beat Reed Duke.
And he did,
and
yeah.
won almost won the pod Caleb Durwood was
Well,
in.
he did win.
Oh, that was
He won in the second day. He beat
Oh.
the pod with Caleb and Sam. He beat them on the way.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
But Ivan went down to George. So George is here and is hopefully has drafted his favorite card, Opposition.
Yes. That is, I think, a pretty cool pick for MTGO Vintage Cube. Everyone goes with the power. Going for opposition's great. I love this.
Here's a fun fact about George. He's never once drafted a cube on Magic Online, ever.
Wow.
Ever.
That's wild.
Not once.
That's awesome. What a first time to start.
No kidding. No kidding.
Yes, and we've got one of his colleagues, Dan, here checking it out, also watching us live and on his phone. Love it. Love you, Dan. Bless up, homie.
Double up. Maybe card that pulled the most weight, Rofilos, Landwar Emissary. Now, that's a good one in this cube as well, if you're
Wait.
able to get it.
What's the other one? Tolmasar?
So the Tolsmere and the Old Border Foil Cube, he had that in both of those cubes.
Oh, got it. Okay, so it pulled the weight in multiple cubes.
It
Wonderful.
did. He leaned on Rofilos to get here.
And we got Ryan Leake coming. Oh,
we have
Ryan Leake.
We have Jonathan Leake coming up.
I know who this is. This is Ryan Leake. This is who
this
I
is
beat.
Jonathan Leake.
No, he goes by Ryan. This is. I know who this is. I didn't recognize him because he looks great. He's been losing some weight. He was in your SCG cube. I beat him there, and he also I think he No, he didn't top 8 last year. I played against him on coverage in the end of the Live the Dream Cube where I beat him. Thank you very much. He is a very talented player. I'm sorry, Ryan. I did not write. I know who you are now. Yes, I apologize. Yes. Ryan is awesome. His favorite cube?
Derek's cube.
Fantastic.
That's what he said.
That is a good one.
Now, he also doesn't have his favorite card, and that's Parallax Wave.
Someone deed it up.
That's yeah. Michael was listening to all of these. He's like, I'm gonna just draft all these. Now,
He's got the time walk.
The fun fact about Mr. Leak right here. He said he has a terrible memory. I added this last part because he almost didn't show up for top 8, and I almost dropped him in favor of another player. If he did not show up, he had 60 seconds to be physically in front of me before he was dropped for someone out of top 8, which he'd worked so hard on the weekend to get because he trophied 5 times. Cartographia, 2007 Nostalgia, Derek's Cube, Rainbow Synergy Cube, Devoid Cube. He won all of this.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And the One Ring it might have in this one. Right? We saw it get passed. We're not sure who has it. We know it got passed,
We
right?
know Michael Kilberry does not have it.
Yes.
But
so Ryan,
we got a couple more people.
Mm-hmm.
Not many, but we're going to see the man himself, Michael Kilberry.
Let's go.
Let's talk about him. We just saw him draft Michael Anthony Kilberry. He wanted us specifically to put that. Sound fancier.
Yes.
Westtown in Chicago, and he wanted specifically to put Chicago, not one of those suburbs that everybody else is doing.
I like it.
Maze Fey Cube, which I got to draft with him this weekend. He won that one, the pod that I was in, and the Tulsamere Cube were his favorite ones. Tulsamere Cube, that's a favorite of a lot of people. The green and white, who'd have thunk it? My least two favorite colors in Magic.
Absolutely. It's it's got to be someone's favorite.
It's a lot of people's favorite. What cubes did Michael trophy with? Well, that's the old Border Foil Cube, Emma's Peasant Cube, Maze Fey Cube, the Tulsamere Cube. Now,
Pretty dope.
Yeah.
Oh, has been money drafting since 7th grade.
7th grade.
Wow.
Now I got to be honest. I talked to Michael, and he's also from the Midwest, just like you. And I said, "Let me ask you something, Michael. When you money draft, do you do 3v3 or 2v2?" And he said, "Yeah, 2v2."
Yes.
And I said,
because
"You are all psychopaths from
he
North
knows.
Carolina."
We just had this conversation yesterday.
I know. We 3v3'd in North Carolina. I've been doing it for a long time too, but we 3v3'd. That's the way you do it.
When you're our age and you remember
You're
back
our age.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When back in my day, a little before your time, we did end up in the 3v3 later on. That's the final iteration, but we started with the 2v2, the lost art. I also have been money drafting since about the 7th grade.
Jebro, you tried to make me 4v4.
That's
earlier
also
today.
an iteration. You can pick a champion.
Anyway, our last
I can't confirm or deny if I did that since it would be considered gambling, but I can say I love drafting for stakes theoretically.
our last Michael is Michael Gilhood, who
Shout out to Riley.
right. Chehalis, Washington, all the way from Washington State. Favorite cube is the Live the Dream cube, which I mean that's a favorite of a lot of ours. One of you and mine's favorite cubes.
And that's the cube I played against Ryan Leak on coverage last year.
Oh, okay.
The one cube I got to play, the one non-exhibition cube I got to play was exactly that one. It's so good.
Well, Michael
Shout out to David McCarthy.
trophied in the regular cube, the Uber Bear Horror Cube, and the Modern Darlings Cube.
Fantastic.
That was one that we covered here on coverage at CubeCon. Favorite MTGO Vintage card, Lelia the Blade Reforged. I love that card too. Very, very powerful attacker, especially if you can get it out early in this cube, which is very, very possible.
It's
but
so good.
Leaned on Young Pyromancer for the whole weekend. I mean, that's a card that's incredibly powerful in a lot of different cubes. Very easy to have that one carry you to the win. Fun
Young
fact.
He does a lot of work.
Now, this is I think Michael has the best fun fact. The first time he cubed was in a submarine 400 feet below the surface of the ocean.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. What was the first time you cubed?
Only 200 feet below.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why I'm so impressed by 400 feet
Yeah.
below.
That's pretty. Is he military? I would assume, or what's your take on that? How
I was already so impressed. I didn't need an explanation.
Fair.
I was just like, okay,
He might be
right
Aquaman.
on, Michael. Yeah,
He might be Aquaman.
he could be.
Statistically speaking, he's likely he's almost certainly Aquaman at this point.
One of the things that he was most proud of is that he talked to the creator of the Uber Bear Horror Cube, which is Anthony, who hosts the Uber Bear Cube podcast, and he said completely changed Anthony's look at the way he looks at his own cube, which is pretty impressive.
Yes, that's fantastic.
I think we have one more top 8 competitor. I think that's Tim
Oh yes.
Myers.
Okay, let's check out Tim.
So Tim
Ooh,
from St. Louis,
look at him hoist that
Missouri.
cube up.
Yeah,
Impressive.
excited to do so. Also, his favorite cube, Con's Expanded Cube.
Yeah, shout out to Elliot. That cube is wonderful.
Yeah.
If you have, it was on Moto briefly.
It was?
If you have not got the chance to draft it, I highly recommend it. Make sure you hit up Elliot online, Elliot Ralph, to bring it back next year. Hopefully, we can feature it again. It is amazing.
He trophied in Reading Rainbow, Maze Fey Cube, and the data-generated Vintage Cube, which got him to this top 8 right now.
So he vintage cubed to get to the vintage cube.
He did.
I like it.
Now, his favorite card is Mana Crypt. If he was sitting to the left of Michael, he might have it in his deck.
Yes,
It's very
getting past a
possible.
mana crypt is like one of the happiest things you can ever do. Like it's just such a gift. I would also probably say it's my favorite. I don't think I would pass anything for mana crypt.
What about Thraben Inspector? I'm putting you on the
How
spot.
dare you? I'll take them both. I'll wheel one of them. I'm not sure which.
Well, the card that pulled the weight the most, and no wonder Tim's in top 8. He drafted Fable the Mirror Breaker multiple times.
Now, do you think that's mana crypt into Fable turn 1? How do you
I think if it's in the Vintage Cube, it very likely is. It's
Yeah.
very, very possible. Fun fact, he won a side event here at CubeCon and won a commissioned altar from a magic artist
Oh
of
wow!
his choice.
Do we know what it? Oh, it's to be determined.
To be determined.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Was that the WizKids one? Or
It was one of our competitors that was just running an event.
oh, that's awesome. See, that's the type of joy you get at CubeCon. All this organic, amazing opportunities. That's wonderful.
Pretty amazing. I mean, really, just and all of these competitors have worked so hard. You see that no one just got here on accident.
Yes.
Okay. Everyone has earned their spots. There's so many highly competitive players. And we're going to see these 8 duke it out, but we're going to take just a short break.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we're going to crown a brand new CubeCon champion because Caleb Durward, he tried, didn't quite make it a top 8. So we're going to have a new person hoist that trophy. Do not go
Wait,
anywhere.
Are you saying you're counting Caleb out?
I think at this point, statistically, we can. Do not go anywhere.
I never count Caleb out.
For Jay Bro and Justin Parnell, we will be back in just a few minutes to finish this CubeCon top 8. Welcome back to CubeCon 2023. We are here, Justin Parnell, Jonathan Brostoff, with our top 8 draft. We are doing the Magic Online Vintage Cube, but not online, in paper.
IRL. And it is so cool to just have power in your hand and play it.
It's fantastic.
It is one of the incredible experiences you can have here at CubeCon. Come next year, and also not only that, this was not the only vintage cube in the main event.
No.
And not only that, there was even an additional vintage cube to play outside of the main event.
That's true.
Including in our roto draft. So come on down, CubeCon, awesome.
Holds some power. That's a rare circumstance that you get. Now, someone that's holding power is going to be. Oh, I see what you did there. Someone that's going to be holding power is Michael Kilberry, as he has Mox Pearl among other cards in his deck. But the only thing Michael doesn't have to himself is his name.
We are 2 Michaels, 1 cube.
That's right. We're going to have a Michael Highlander match here in the top 8. We have Michael Kilberry, who we watched draft against Michael Gilhood.
Yes. Shout out to Riley. Happy to have you watching. Your dad is making history right now, so bless up, homie.
Now, Jaber, why don't you tell us what Michael Gilhood drafted, see what he's got going.
Okay, Michael is on a mono green, it looks like, with some really powerful stuff going on. I see Rofelos, I see Channel, I see Blightsteel Colossus and Ulamog as the payouts. We've also got Hex Drinker, good with both, a lot of ramp. We've got Prime Time, Gargadarga Barga. We've got a lot of your traditional kind of like green rampy stuff. We start off with Ignoble Hierarch.
Something like an Ignoble Hierarch on turn 1 from Michael Gilhood.
Okay.
But it's Michael Kilberry matches it with a turn 2 Pristine Talisman into Sensei's Divining Top. But Michael's like, I'd like to skip past turn 2 to about turn 10.
This could go really bad. Well, this could either be an Ulamog or a Blightsteel.
It is an Ulamog, and Gilhood is I like the double finger point to say, yeah, I'll take 10 life. I'll take 15 life.
Bang,
whatever.
bang, bang, and that chicken wing. He ain't doing no damage. And swing for
and
one.
swing for one.
Not even. He could have tapped for mana.
First, that is style points because he could have tapped that for mana, but he's like, you know what? Maximum disrespect. Do not even care. I'm going to cast this Ulamog on turn 2 off of this channel.
It's actually super disrespectful for multiple reasons because we like to see.
A Brazen Borrower.
Back in the hand. Brazen Borrower doing work because it also means that he doesn't care about the extra life. He thinks he's winning through damage, which might not be the case. Now, we do have Sensei's Divining Top. So, all right. How are we going to differentiate these two?
So we're going to go with Kilberry and Gilhood. Gilhood on the right, Kilberry on the left.
Okay.
And we do know that Michael Gilhood has the chance to have 3 mana right now, but is saying, I want to go looking, and I'm going to go ahead and pop this memory jar to see if we can get a new 7. You're not going to get access to yours. Kilberry's not.
Correct.
Because he's going to have to just pick his cards up, and they're going to go to the discard pile in a turn, and we know he doesn't have any free spells.
No free counter spells. Okay, and we've got
Oracle of Moldiah.
Oracle of the Mully Dully. You're ramping a little bit. I also see a Nissa that's getting discarded. Nissa,
right.
We're going to miss you. All right, back to Kilberry. Now, Kilberry has a top which would be good with Oracle and Moldaya, but we can look and see if we can find some land here.
Well, you know a way to find an Oracle of Moldaya in Killberry's deck?
How's that now?
That's a Phyrexian Metamorph.
Ooh, touche. Touche. Hachi-machi.
Phyrexian Metamorph,
If
one
we
of the best cards to play on creatures that are good in your deck that you can't cast.
Yes. Okay, so we're tapping 2 mana for Jace.
Jace
Which
Bryn's Prodigy.
it was going to ultimate immediately. If we don't see a lot of action from Michael, I mean, Michael's actually not too far. Michael's going to be able to cast
this
Ulamog.
Ulamog. Yeah, so he's at 6 lands already. He's got 5 forest, and Michael looking very much like he's mono green, and
Yes.
he's tapping 5 here, and we're gonna play a Elder Gargaroth.
Gaga.
It looks like Killberry's not going to be able to take advantage of the fact that Michael's at 5.
Wow.
And Michael Gilhood still deploying all of these threats, played an Elder Gargaroth into a Elvish Mystic.
And we are at 7 mana right now. And I believe we have a Steve in hand, so very, very close to casting that Ulamog. Very. Okay, well.
We have a Teferi Time Raveler that's going to bounce that Elder Gargaroth back to Gilhood's hand.
And actually, there's a line that Michael could have had here. If Michael wanted, he could have kept the Jace up and flipped it at instant speed after blocking in order to save both potentially the Teferi and the Jace, depending on what he did with the 1/1.
Well, I think what Michael wants to do is probably shrink this Oracle of Moldaya to protect both of his planeswalkers.
Which is not going to save the one.
Not going to save Teferi
Teferi.
Time Raveler,
Right.
most likely.
Because we have the Noble Hierarch, and there's also another elf. But if instead we hold it back, block, and then the horror is in the deck. By the way, it is in the deck. The horror's in the house,
and it's in the graveyard right now. But you see what's on top of Michael Gilhood's library? That's a Primeval Titan.
That's a good way to cast a 10 power.
It sure is.
Yeah.
And instead, we're going to see this Elder Gargaroth come back down to town, and we're going to see another 1-drop in Elvish. Elvish Reclaimer, thank you.
Interesting. So Reclaimer, but I do not actually see any relevant land here. I see a Thespian stage. I don't see Dark Depths. I see. There's a card with Glare. Maybe that's a Dark Depths.
Well, here's the thing. Either way, Michael Gilhood just played a 3/4 for 1 because there are 3 lands in his graveyard thanks to Memory Jar.
The old Memory Jar Mystic Reclaimer combo.
I mean,
Classic.
whatever it takes.
Classic.
And so here's the big problem for Killberry. He has missed a couple of lands where Michael has not.
Well, and it's interesting, this line, because if Killberry, like, Gehold is playing so aggressively, if we see a balance, this whole situation switches.
But we know Michael Killberry doesn't have the card balance.
Correct, but Gehold does not know that. I'm just saying the line of...
I don't think he... I'm going to go out on a limb. I do not think Michael Gilhood is trying to play around balance.
Yes, I think that's correct.
Yeah.
That is accurate on multiple levels. I don't know how Killberry comes back at this point, especially because we're so close to just... Oh my! Well, that's going to get Ulamog on the table even faster. It does remove the threat of the 6/6 potentially.
I mean, at this point, Killberry's really just grasping at straws, trying to come back from this. And the crazy thing was, he actually has come back pretty well from the Ulamog.
Yes, not mad at it. And maybe if we can get, like, you know, in a world where we could get, like, a Parallax, what can we start putting together to, like, come back from this?
It's going to be very difficult. We are on 8 mana currently. There's 3 lands in the graveyard. We're going to see, is there a land on top? Finale of Devastation. That's that's not going to be good for Michael Killberry, no matter what comes out.
That's pretty good.
And he's really carefully considering his options, holding up 1 blue, which is only going to really provide him with a Sensei's Dividend top activation.
Okay.
Augur of Autumn, that's a card we both like a lot.
Love Augur of Autumn. Fantastic. And we'll do work here. Lets you cast lands and creatures from the from the library.
From the top of your deck.
When you've got Coven, which we do see. So interesting. We're trying to fetch up another land. Let's see what land we get here.
Let's see
what
land. Does he happen to have? He doesn't have a guy. Does he have a Gaia's Cradle?
He
does have a Gaia's Cradle.
Wow.
I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one.
Yeah,
Gaia's Cradle, that's going to help him cast That's going to help him cast Ulamog next turn because it comes into play tapped.
Correct. There was one card in the list from the picture that was taken that was glary. That was it. Gaia's Cradle is fantastic here. Great reason to play Reclaimer. Also, land on top of the library.
We still can play another land.
Yep, fantastic. Oh,
Augur Arms is back just in time.
He knew. He knew what time it is. He wants to be part of the winning team.
I think Gilhood's going to probably play the Sekiro Tribe Elder and get rid of it to see if we are able to shuffle to find another land.
That's right.
We'll find out.
Well,
oh no, we have. This looks like an invasion of Ikoria.
Okay,
So he got a lot of creature searchers in his deck.
Yes, this is a very, very. How much is this for?
We're gonna find out based on. I think it's for 4.
Okay, because we also couldn't we cast Ulamog this turn?
Not this turn. Not. This
Oh,
turn.
I'm sorry. That's right. That's a turn. Yeah.
Well, next turn we
Yes,
will
yes,
definitely
yes.
be able to. Augur Von, I'm gonna get shuffled back into the deck for the second time in the game.
How do you feel about this new Ikoria Buck?
Invasion of Ikoria.
Yes.
Okay, Invasion of Ikoria, pretty solid if you're able to, it's great in a deck if you are already on Dark Depths. You can have Vampire Hexmage as a little bonus thing to remove all of the counters, but instead we're going to see a Rofilos come out after being searched for. Michael's just making sure, under any circumstance, and that's the second land he can play for the turn, you can absolutely play that, Michael.
Ooh, more land. Perfect.
He's going to make sure he can cast this Ulamog, and he's going to be able to pay for about 12 mana leaks next turn.
Yes, and it's likely he won't even need to pay for one. So pretty good.
Yeah.
He's set up.
Killberry's got a miscalculation, but that's not going to save him here.
Killberry does have the 3/1 flyer that makes it cost 2 more. Unfortunately, 12 mana is easy to come by at this board state.
12, 14, 16 mana.
That Rofilos and Gaia's Cradle are doing a lot of work here.
Let's
Heavy
go,
lifting.
Yeah, let's go ahead and count. We have 7 forests. That's 7 plus 7, 14, 15, 16.
Oh, and if he takes one, he can just do the other.
He does have the Elite Spellbinder. And Michael, that was a fact-finding mission is what I call that.
We're looking.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because we had both the Eldrazi, but in case he could somehow deal with that, some sort of discard spell, we also had the
finale.
Finale of Devastation. Give all your creatures plus a bazillion. So.
And yeah, right. And not only that, he could. I think you can actually search your graveyard.
Yes.
For the creature. So.
But at that,
Gilhood was going to be.
Yeah. Good job, Riley. Your dad is taking it to another level. Let's go.
One of my favorite archetypes is mono green.
Why is that?
Well, it allows you to do plays like that. And Rofilos,
yes,
as we've seen here, didn't have a chance to do its thing, but had Michael played it early or needed it, he didn't really, but had he needed it, it's the thing that lets you break mana parity at the greatest clip turn after turn in the entire cube.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you have a bunch of extra mocks in your deck. They can also attack.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So, Jaybro, do you know what the easiest way to sell your Magic cards is?
Usually I go to the pawn shop, have to go on Google, get all my cards set up. It's pretty inefficient.
Sounds like a lot of hassle.
Yeah.
You know, what's easier than
what else
that?
could you possibly do?
Yeah, what's easier than that is going to cardconduit.com.
What is that?
Well, you can ship them your unsorted Magic cards, and Card Conduit will sort and grade them for you. And then they'll find the best buy list prices for all of your cards in their major retailer network, which
Are you
is
kidding?
all over the place. And not only that, they're going to pay you all the best prices for your cards, and they're going to take only a tiny little fee, just a little tiny one.
That doesn't even compute. That would save me, I don't know, I'm just giving a rough estimate here, hundreds of hours a week.
Time and money.
Yes, that is wonderful.
That's critical.
Card Conduit, check him out. Fantastic sponsor. We couldn't do CUBECON without you. Awesome. Thank you. Let's go back to the game.
Go to cardconduit.com to get started today.
Bang, bang. Okay, so we're starting off with our Tri-land.
Asparis headquarters for Killberry, as we see.
Ooh.
Unsurprisingly, Arbor Elf for Gilhood.
Which can untap the headquarters.
It's true. You could target any forest, and then we see Ledger Shredder come down. Turn 2 for Killberry, although struggles to put together 2 spells in a turn. And, And now we're going to see a Invasion of Ikoria for 1, so likely get another Mana Elf, probably just Elvis Mystic.
I think we're getting the Ignoble. I would presume we get the Ignoble here. We want a little 0/1 to add to the Buck.
There we are.
Okay. We could also see Reclaimer to get up the Gaia's Cradle for long play, but we might just want the short burst of
Yeah,
mana this
he
way.
thought about it. He kind of gut checked himself, but like, no, let's go ahead and just get the mana.
It might have been a pump fake too.
Could have been a
He might
pump
be
fake.
pump faking his opponent.
That's true.
What do we think about Ledger Shredder? How do you feel about that one here?
I like Ledger Shredder. I'm not a huge fan of it in Kilberry's deck.
Why?
Very difficult for Kilberry to cast 2 spells.
Yes.
Now, not hard for Michael Gilhood to cast 2 spells.
Oh,
Or 3 or
wow.
4 or 5 spells.
Oh, wow. That is...
So we have a Weathered Wayfarer, which could be good, but you really need to be behind on mana.
Usually that's...
Well, we see an Oracle of Moldiah, so that might activate the Wayfarer.
Next level. Hachi Machi.
And there we go. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And then, oh, baby.
Wow. This is pretty impressive. So
here's the thing, and I really want to say this both for the viewers and for coverage. Technically, with this Sylvan Library that Michael Gilhood just cast, he actually has to reveal all of the cards he would draw for it thanks to Oracle of Moldiah.
That's right.
So hopefully all of us will get a lot more information from Michael's deck.
And it allows you to put the lands back on top so they're free plays. You get to draw a bunch of extra cards. And it also means that we can, because we're under so little life pressure, we can just sometimes pay 8 life and just draw 2 cards right away.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do.
You're basically going to pay life equal to the amount of lands you have -1.
Yes, and the Weathered Wayfarer is interesting here. Cannot activate because now we're at 4 and 4, but it can get when it can't activate any land.
Any
It
land.
can get any land, not a basic land, not a non-basic land, any land.
Whatever you want.
Whatever you want. It could be a boat.
All right, here we're going to see the
Interesting.
Sylvan Library
this-
go off, and we should see all of these cards.
Does this represent?
go.
Oh,
Oh,
no!
nice. And a Sakura Tribe
no.
Elder.
No, you
so
do not.
that don't reveal that
We do
one.
not see that. That is, we should have a judge intervene here. I don't know if we can get someone to voice. That should not be revealed, I
Right,
believe.
because well,
What?
no, technically it is revealed because it is not in. It's not.
Oh,
in,
the cards are drawn. I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry.
yeah,
It's
the
not.
cards are drawn. Those are not on his
Okay,
library.
that's on us. That was
we
my
know
mistake.
we have 2 right off the top,
Wow. So we
and he's
we
like,
just
hey,
went up 4 mana.
right.
And
We went up a. We might and okay. So here's the problem.
wow.
Well, other than Ulamog, and here's something I always note, and that's going to be a quick 2-0 for Michael Gilhood. Unbelievable.
Fantastic.
I didn't even get to tell my story.
Tell it now. We want to hear.
So anytime that I'm playing Magic with someone, and they start counting their mana with 1 finger, you are dead.
What can you give us a little bit more about the 1 finger tell? Why is 1 finger the signal?
Because it's always a very large number.
now when
Michael counted to 10, and he had to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No one's getting to like 5 mana. Like he's not counting Elder Gargaroth.
what's the
folks.
over under there?
It's like 8.5.
8.5. Oh,
Yeah.
that is a lot of mana.
Yeah. So if you ever see anyone do that, they're pointing with 1 finger. That's when you know you're about to get messed up.
That's we call it the 1 finger slinger.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Michael Gilhood just did to Michael Kilberry.
He just went bang, bang, bang in that chicken wing.
He did.
Okay, we
we're-
got some more exciting Magic coming.
They
Let's
could
go.
still be in game 1. Let's go to our backup match. We
Yeah,
don't
that
know.
was quick. Okay, we got Allison versus Tim. We are seeing. Ooh, we got Caracas on the table. Hachimachi.
And we do, and they're in game 2. Looks like Tim Myers is going to be up a game here against
Oof.
Elton. Battisti,
and
Gitaxian Probe coming from Battisti.
wow, we see a Mox Emerald. It looks like a beta. Is that beta or alpha? I can't quite tell from it. It looks like a beta.
It's beta.
It looks like a beautiful beta.
They're all beta.
And good guy Tim Myers leaving up the cards after the reveal with the Git Probe. Fantastic.
And I'm sure
That's what I like
she
to see.
appreciates that. Allison
Yes.
is definitely appreciated, and that's the kind of spirit we have here at CubeCon.
Amen. Okay, so we've got kind of aggressive.
Showdown of the Scalds coming down, so we're exiling 4 cards off the top of Allison's library, and she can cast those this turn or next turn.
And we see, looks like, not sure what this Mardu deck is up to yet, but looks like an aggressive. Yeah, both these decks are pretty interesting. We're going for some Domain. We're going for some White Weenie. I don't know what's happening here, but it's very interesting. This is the sort of fun, good Magic you can get at CubeCon.
Well, we know that we have 4 different types, basic land types, so that Leyline Binding is only going to cost 2 mana at any time with Flash for Tim Myers.
Yes, Leyline and Binding, can we bring it up real quick, is an amazing new standout card for Cube, especially with the Triomes. Normally, an O-Ring would be 2 and a white to exile target non-land permanent until it dies. Leyline and Binding is 5 and a white, but with Domain, it costs 1 less for each basic land type you control. So even with the Plains, it's a little bit cheaper at 5, but as we see here, it can easily be, a steal. You can get it down to 1 mana, and 1 mana instant speed is pretty dope and very relevant. Okay, Stoneforge Mystic. Ooh, doggy.
And Allison, you're going to want to read this Cauldra Completed because that is going to come down and make your life very difficult very soon.
Now, interestingly, Tim can either play it next turn with Stoneforge Mystic or possibly just play it if he draws a land.
Yeah, I would imagine going to go with the Stoneforge Mystic because we know the full contents of Tim's hands.
Yes.
We know there's nothing else to deploy. The Leyline Binding is going to cost 2. The activation for Stoneforge Mystic is going to cost 2. But if, in case Allison deals with Stoneforge Mystic right now, a casting Cauldron Complete for 7 is definitely within the realm of possibility.
Well, it could also be that if you have the Cauldron, if you have the Flickerwisp, and you have the 2 other creatures, you can swing with all of them with a free swing with Stoneforge Mystic on this board state, bring Allison down to 1, no more fetch lands, etc.
Right.
But likely that's not the case. We're going to see something else happening here. Oh my!
That was Jite.
That's pretty good. And now the first striker gets even bigger.
It is good.
Wow.
I imagine that Leyline Binding is going to have something to say about that.
What's it going to say?
It's going to say, be exiled and do not come back, please, because I do not want my 2 1-toughness creatures and my Stoneforge Mystic to be created low. And Allison going to pack it in. That's a quick first round.
Well, it's sometimes how Cube goes. Sometimes you get these long, drawn-out games.
It do be like that sometimes.
It do, though.
It do be like that sometimes.
For real, though. And we have, just an amazing display. We have the Mardu, just all sorts of cool stuff going on. What are, besides mono green, you see this cube, what archetype are you looking for?
Well, blue is the most powerful color.
You got Time Walk, Ancestral Recall, Tinker.
Yeah, even something like Time Warp that we've seen.
You got Time Warp for 5. Sometimes you Time Walk into a Time Warp.
Yeah, even things like there's a lot of single blue cantrips: Preordain, Ponder, Brainstorm, Catexium
Help the
Probe.
consistency,
Right.
get your Delve up, Young Peasy,
Murktide Regent, things
Murktide
like
Buck,
that. Yeah, Dig Through Time, Treasure Cruise. So I really just like to be able to keep my curve as low as possible.
Okay.
I'm a big 1 mana, 1 mana spells, 2 mana spells, and then the big stuff that I can reduce down.
Now let's go through your favorite non-blue 1 mana spells in the format.
Okay, well, all right, we'll go ahead and get this one out of the way. I think Thraben Inspector is great.
Yes.
I'm a big I'm not as big of a Thraben Inspector fan
That's what
as
I'm
you.
talking about.
But the reality is, and speaking as a non-biased person here, like J-Bro is, Thraben Inspector, able to get down and provide some pressure early, provide 2 permanents from 1 card, provide 2 permanents from 1 card, and one of them being an artifact. Obviously very helpful with another really powerful blue card like Urza, perhaps. Turn that clue into a Mox Sapphire.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hello.
Are you familiar with this?
The Thraben Inspector.
Yes.
Can I read this for coverage? All right. It's a Thraben Inspector. Inspector is a 1/2. It depicts Thraben Inspector holding a can of Spreckers. It's a 1/2. Whenever it enters the battlefield, inhale. Create an empty bottle token. It's an artifact with 1. Sacrifice this artifact, deal 1 damage to any target. Why is it 1 damage?
I don't know. I was on stream talking about my love for Thraben Inspector and for Sprecher Root Beer, and I think I said Thraben and Sprecher, and one of my buddies who watches me on there, one of my Twitch fans, I said, we got Ancestral Recall. We got so we gotta get Thraben Inspector for the other colors. What they look like, and that anyway. Among that conversation, we were just chit chatting on my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/TeamJBro. We came across this, and someone made it and bought it here, Andrew. So that's the story, and it's pretty cool. And now I have this.
Amazing.
I'm pretty excited. And I have this, and I have this, and we have this.
You have all sorts of
CubeCon!
stuff. So, J-Bro, let's say you're CubeCon, and I don't mean to bring this up, but it's going to be over in a couple hours.
Is CubeCon ever truly over, or does it exist in our hearts?
Well,
Forever.
coverage is going to be over in a couple hours.
Is
And
coverage going to be over, or is it going to be online forever?
live coverage will be over in a couple hours.
I'm just busting
We
your
want
chops.
you to stick around for now, but let's say you wanted to find other Cube content, maybe from one of our great Mythic level sponsors. Who do you think you would go to?
Well, for me, I am a huge fan of MTGO now. Daybreak Games has taken over, and they're doing an amazing job. Also, if you're interested in qualifying for the Pro Tour, playing Cube at any time, I got 6 kids.
Yeah,
So I
it's
don't
more
have
every time I talk to you about it.
Yeah, and CubeCon's my baby, so some might say 7. I've got a lot going on, and I would say that the ability to play online on demand, like it's late at night, and I'm putting my daughter back to bed, I can just have my laptop in the background. It's like an amazing, amazing opportunity. Plus, they also have drafts, so we can do it at some points, not others. So I'm a huge fan of MTGO right now, and since Daybreak has taken over, they've been amazing, and they have one of the best Moto Vintage Cube iterations there's ever been right now, as well as the last one. The previous one was also just knocked out of the park.
Right.
Both after the transition to Daybreak Games. And again, if you want to get on the Pro Tour, if you want to qualify for regional championships, you do it through Moto or MTGO, as some might say. And there's, again, leagues where you can just hop on and then at your convenience, hop on another, play another. It's amazing, convenient. The changes have been wonderful. And if you like Cube,
I do.
Which if you're watching CubeCon
Love
content,
it.
you probably do, and Justin does. Moto's your jam. Plus, Magic Online was just an amazing sponsor, amazing partner for us. They really helped us make this happen, and we CubeCon is so much better because of their help, their sponsorship. So we want to say huge thank you to MTGO. And it's also kind of how this got started, in a sense. I have been playing Magic for a very long time.
How long?
Quite long.
How long?
I'm very old.
How long?
I've
been playing for 25 years, so it can't be much longer than that.
It's a couple. It's 27 years.
Right. So earlier when you were talking about back in your day, but not my day. You meant 26 to 27 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. God,
Complete
just want to
different
be
generation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Trust me.
2 ships passing into the night.
Yeah. So we had but you also might have started at an earlier age.
I did. 12 years old.
Oh, wait,
Yeah, I was
okay.
12 years
We're about to, yeah. Okay, so I'm a couple years older. So anyway, so I played from a very early age. I had a lot of, got on the Pro Tour, got a lot of fun competition, But I would have a resurgence with Magic through Cube, and I got really good at it, and I started becoming the Cube trophy leader, and my buddy Caleb Durward noticed me on there. Didn't know it was my account, but he just said, "Oh, this MTGO to go person is consistently the trophy leader. What's up with that?" And I said, "Hey, that's me," and he graciously, when I'd sleep over at his house, let me go on a stream and hang out and stuff like that and learn the process and all that sort of stuff. And when we did it, it was just really, really an extremely positive experience. And I was like, I could do that. And through that, I kind of grew a little bit of a following. After winning the SCG tournament you set up, I parlayed that into conversations with you in a relationship and others. And through that, a lot of the final stage of this has been CubeCon. So in many ways, MTGO is responsible for it now and then. And also, again, with lots of kids and a lot going on in life and stuff like that, it's a lot harder for me to get an IRL draft going, to sit down with my friend. I used to host 2 Cube drafts a week with lots of people coming through, but it's just really hard right now with family. Life changes.
But
Moto doesn't.
That's right. It's a constant.
Yes.
Magic Online. It's always going to be
God.
there for you.
Amen. And we really appreciate their sponsorship of this event. If you like CubeCon, check them out. Also, you can draft a lot for very, very cheap if you just do the cubes.
Yeah.
So I recommend it.
So if you don't have an account, go to mtgo.com to get started. There's not a better time to cube than right now. In fact, you could be drafting right now while you're watching this. There's nothing to stop you. You could be cube drafting right now.
You could be double queuing. You could be watching us and cube drafting. I've quad cubed on stream.
That's
And
insane.
yeah, and I am insane. Also, if we're gonna just do something real live, we'll do it live. If you need a break, I can stay.
No, we're
Are you
sticking
good?
around.
We're sticking around.
We don't need
Pushing
breaks.
through.
We're gonna stay with you the entire time until a champion is crowned.
That's what I'm talking about. So I also want to say for our viewers, I have a request for you. You guys, everyone watching here, this is what I'd like to see. We are currently at 752 viewers. I want to break 1.5K for this amazing event.
So double
That's
it.
my goal. Double the viewership. So what I need some help with is go on your Magic groups right now. Text some people. Get people watching. If you're a fan of Cube, you got a Cube thing on Facebook or, your Cube on Twitter. Hashtag CubeCon, let's get these numbers up. Let's share the link. Nerd Rage Games. We want to see the viewership numbers go through the roof. So let's see it happen, Cap'n. Also, I will say that we have had just such an incredible weekend. It's coming to the conclusion, and we've had a lot of amazing players come through. We've had Caleb Durward. We've had Jarvis Yu, Theo Zhang. We've had Reed Duke. We had Ryan Sachs, Derek Allen, amazing, amazing players from all over the country, from all over the world come here to play. Some are Hall of Famers. We had Bob Maher playing earlier, although not in the main event. We have lots of amazing, amazing people. And if you look at the top 8, I don't think you're going to recognize very many of those names.
No.
I don't know if any of these people have won a Pro Tour. Not to my knowledge.
No.
That just speaks. I just think that's.
They were dispatched. The Pro Tour winners, the Hall of Famers, they were dispatched by these folks.
Yes, 1 white mana, instant speed.
Got to have 3 or more artifacts, but they did. They had them.
That's right. So we are just in. It just blows my mind that we've had the. I just think it's such a unique tournament in so many ways. And normally you get the ringers in. It's like, some people think, well, I have no chance, I have no shot because these people are not one of those. Dom Harvey, one of the best players to ever do it. And
Most recent, the last Pro Tour, top 4 at the Pro Tour.
yeah,
That's the highest level of competition in the land.
technically speaking, pretty good at the Magics.
Yeah.
And he did not make it to the top 8. So, I had so many people tell me before, or not so many, I had a couple of people tell me beforehand that, hey, I want to go, but I'm a little intimidated. I don't know. I'm a no-name. I don't know if I can compete with all these people who have all this incredible accolades, stuff like that. I was like, you never know at CubeCon. You know what? It turned out to be right. You never
It's
know.
true. You got to give it a shot.
Reigning champion Caleb Durward from last year did not make it to the top 8 this year.
And he really was trying.
He was trying. It's just the nature of this sort of competition where there's so many different cubes, so many different ways to play it, just so much opportunity. And as opposed to constructed Magic or even some forms of limited, where you can grind, where it really preferences the grinder, and you can just like grind, and get like your sharpen your knives and understand all the shortcuts, all the ways to do it. In this case, it's really hard to do it. There's just too many factors to account for, especially when we're talking about, the Devoid Cube. Did you get to play the Devoid Cube?
I got to draft the Amankar Desert Cube, which is
that's a fun one.
kind of similar in its
Shout out to Austin Bones.
Yeah, Austin who had 3 cubes
3 cubes
this year.
Sorry, 3 cubes that made it into CubeCon. That's amazing.
Amazing. Yeah, but so the Amankar Desert Cube is similar to the Devoid Cube. They're both cubes where you have to draft your lands.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can have wastes, I believe. Is that correct?
In the Devoid Cube, but not in the
Right,
Amankar
not the
Desert
Desert
Cube, you must draft them all,
Yes.
no matter what. You want a plains, which I don't know, I don't know why you would. Maybe you have a Thraben Inspector.
Maybe got Thraben
That's
Inspector.
the only reason I can find. You got to draft it in the draft.
We're gonna get a quick. Do you mind if we join a quick special guest? Dom, come over here. We're gonna get a quick special guest. You guys hop in real quick. Dom, hop in the booth. We want to hear about your experience.
Hello,
Dom,
everyone.
wait, thank you for being so prepared at jumping in the booth. This is your first time at CubeCon.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have fun? That's the main thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yes is the answer. And you can all have fun too if you come out here to beautiful Madison, Wisconsin. Yeah, I had a great time. For me, it's it has the vibe of one of those kind of GP weekends, big tournament weekends,
Right.
but with a much more casual vibe.
Absolutely.
Where even if I do badly, it's fine. I hop in another cube and it's water under the bridge, you know?
Right.
So perfect blend of big event, get to see lots of people, can take it seriously if you want to. You can look through all the cubes and figure out how you want to min-max those if you like, but can also just have a good time, and that's what everyone seems to be doing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
And something that we've mentioned to viewers, and you as a participant could probably speak more to this, but I don't know if I've ever been to a Magic event where it seems like everyone is constantly just having an excellent time.
Yeah.
And just that atmosphere is just very rare, and I'm so happy that we've cultivated that at CubeCon.
Absolutely, and even the people you're meeting for the first time, there's always that natural talking point of, well, which cube did you sign up for? What's your favorite cube? Yeah, there's a lot of just, we're all cube fans, right? But the whole point of CubeCon is that means so many different things. Yes. And you see that in the range of cubes on offer in the main event, and then also this extracurricular cubing on the side as well. Like, there really is something for everyone there.
Yeah, I mean, the main event outside of 8 people ended a few hours ago, and we have I don't know,
dozens of people.
Yeah.
Throughout the
still
hall.
Another 20 cube drafts going on right now. So, do you have a favorite cube that you drafted this weekend?
So I drafted the Cascade Cube by Zach Barris for the first time, which I think the first time you draft that cube is guaranteed to be this mind-bending
yes,
experience.
Exactly.
I came out of the draft box not knowing if my deck was great or unplayable or anywhere in between.
Right.
Turns out it was great. Managed to 3-0 and had a blast doing it,
Awesome.
but really could have gone either way. And that's a refreshing feeling, honestly, is to be that kind of scared of what might be coming. I drafted the Changeling Cube, where every creature is a Changeling, which you start to think through what that means in practice. It gets out of control pretty fast, and sure enough, that's how the game's played out too. And I made a point, and the range of cubes allowed for this flexibility, that I tried to target the ones that were pretty wacky. Some changed the rules or some extra drafting condition that makes things up, but also, I mean, we have lots of vintage cubes here, a lot of kind of nostalgic modern cubes or pre-modern cubes even, the old border foil cube, of course, and yeah, I also stuff like the Bun Magic Cube, which is very fair, honest Magic by design, but it's a great version of that if that's what you want.
Absolutely. So. And that's really, I'm glad you said that, because it really runs the gamut between a very exclusive experience you're not going to find anywhere else, Cascade Cube, the Changeling Cube, which are 2 great examples of that, but then the Bun Magic Cube, one of the most popular ones that we did. So that cube, which some people don't know, it's the only cube that didn't have any unique cards. Every card in that cube is in another cube here. And every other cube had at least one card that was not present in another cube.
And that makes sense to me, just given the philosophy behind that cube, right? Where it's very just honest, good, bread and butter Magic. Now I'm starting to think, what if you built a cube that had no overlap with any of the cubes here at all? Like, how would that restrict your card pool?
Right,
yes.
The un-CubeCon cube.
The nega CubeCon
cube.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And now, see, once I get back home, all I want to do is build versions of these cubes.
Good.
What if I build a Cascade Cube, Artifact Cube, stuff like this? I think a lot of people will be doing the same thing. So God only knows how many submissions there will be for next year. But
and you submitted. You have one cube here.
Yeah. Well, so I submitted essentially a Commander Cube, kind of a Companion Cube, maybe it's a good way to put it. And then one of the fun subplots has been, there's a guy here, Greg, who has a full-on Companion Cube where any spell or any land can be your companion. And OG companion rules too, so no 3-mana attacks or anything.
Cast it one time with no extra cost.
So you just get to do it, and if it sounds broken, it is, but everything is broken, so it kind of balances itself in a weird way. So definitely gonna actually follow through on that concept now as well. So
I'd love to hear that. Well, maybe next time when you come back next year, you have more cubes in tow.
Yeah, I was hoping you would interview me as the winner of the event with some giant cheese plate again or whatever.
I was hoping
so.
I was hoping so too. But
you know
what? It's great, Dom. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I know that you were one of the first people to publicly be like, I want to go to CubeCon.
Oh yeah.
And that means a lot to us, especially someone of your standing in the Magic community, and to see someone. And then you top 4 the Pro Tour.
Sure.
Yeah, then you top 4 the Pro Tour. But the great thing is, people know you obviously as a competitive player, but you're here at what is, I would say, a good mix of a competitive and a casual event to further spread the joy of Cube. And we thank you from an organizational perspective that you were able to do that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I wanted to come last year, but timing didn't really work out. Made sure I was going to be here this year come on May. then one thing led to another. But I was going to be here no matter what, and now definitely next year.
Absolutely,
this is the first thing on the calendar for 2024.
That's what we love to hear. Well, thank you so much, Dom. We'll get J-Bro back in the booth here. We've had so many wonderful people, and honestly, and Dom runs back over to get back in a draft.
Yes, he was very gracious to give us some of this cube time. Now he's got to go maximize some cube. We've also got, we've got. Just quite. I'm looking in front of me. We have such a cavalcade. We've got this amazing group of people all here for the love of the cube, and that's the thing about CUBECon that is unique to this type of event, is that it's really just about sharing an experience. It's not about the prize, and I can prove it because we didn't. Although our prizes are good, we did not announce what the prizes were, and still sold out very quickly. We sold out tickets without people knowing what they were going to win, because the winning is the experience. Because people are not
playing is the experience.
The playing is the experience.
You don't even need to win. People have had Dom didn't win.
No, I mean, yeah.
He had a great time.
You win if you come. Just by being here is the winning. The winning is the experience. Yeah. So like being able to have people from from all over, with the one through line being their love of the cube, love of the cube community, and all the fun little extra curriculars that we're doing here. It just blows my mind. And again, just looking over here, I see Zach Hill, Melissa DeTora, Topo Popple. We've got Lauren Lee, aka Ren. We've got Dom Harvey, Jarvis Yu. Just looking, you got Land Ho. Just looking over here, it's pretty incredible. And that's just who's immediately right in front of us. We had Lewis Kaplan earlier, Sam Black, Caleb Durward.
I don't know if we have enough time. If you want to go through every name, but you're right.
And that's only a handful.
Exactly, but so many people here that that are not just big names in the community, but also just people that mean a lot to Magic.
Yes.
Right? Like just that mean a lot to Magic, and Magic means a lot to them.
Pleasant Kenobi.
Yeah, incredible.
Vince, like he all the way from England flying here for us. Emma Partlow, like incredible. Who was there anyone that you were surprised by that came that you didn't know was coming?
Well, Lauren Lee first. I haven't seen her in 10 years.
And how did you know her from before?
So Lauren was the content editor for Star City Games when I first started writing Cube articles for them in 2009. So that's how long ago was that?
That was
13 years.
14.
Ago.
14 years
I've
ago.
been making Cube content for a long time.
Time flies.
So
time flies when you're Cuban.
Right. So I haven't seen Lauren since probably 2011, 2012.
And how was it seeing her today? You guys got some time
Well, I mean, I kind of, so I did it.
You got to play some Cube?
I double checked. I played her. She beat the crap out of me. And I was like, great. She's a good Magic player. Hasn't picked up. And she was like, I haven't played Magic in so long. Let me tell you. Muscle memory at some point.
That's right. Very good at the Magic cards.
And I told Lauren because I kind of did a double take to recognize her, and then I walked up and she didn't recognize me immediately because and then I was like, hey, and then she was like, oh my gosh, everyone looks so different because I haven't seen most of these people in a decade.
Yeah, totally.
So, and I was like, really, you're one of the reasons that this event exists.
Absolutely.
Because you worked with me to have me doing Cube content for years, written Cube content for Star City Games.
The greatest leaders are leaders that make more leaders.
Smart.
The greatest cubers are cubers that cube.
Well, okay, the greatest cubers are people that make other people get into Cube.
That's right.
There you go.
I'll take it. And yeah, it's just so fun. We have all these new we were out with Dom. He's like of the new generation. Certainly not from the OG days.
Right.
And
your days, and then my days, which are the much younger generation.
Yes.
2 years younger.
You're the mid Gs.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
The mid Gs, the OGs, the new Gs, and him just said. Actually, it was Chris. Chris Mooney had a great line.
Wizards of the Coast.
Of Wizards of the Coast, who's also who's our Wizards of the Coast employees?
He's in a draft. They're in a draft over there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can see them.
They're actually right in front of us.
Yeah, everyone's in a draft.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
Well, actually, let's quickly go over the Wizards employees that came out of here and flew out to come be here with us.
Right. So of course we had David McDarby, who
David
you guys got to
McDarby.
see all weekend on coverage with me. My partner.
Your partner and the creator of the Live the Dream cube, one of the best cubes ever made,
One of the
in my
best
opinion.
cubes, and a lot of people's favorite cube here. No
Oh
doubt.
yeah, incredible cube.
We have Melissa DeTora.
Melissa DeTora, Pro Tour top 8er.
And Grand Prix winner.
And Grand Prix winner.
And she was. I told people earlier. I said most people, I think, at this point are used to Melissa as the Wizards employee. What you got to see this weekend was the OG Melissa, the PT top 8er, the Grand Prix winner
expert.
Melissa. Yeah, the limited expert.
The limited assassin.
That takes no prisoners.
Yes. Very talented Magic player. One of the best.
Then, of course, we have Chris Mooney, who's on the Council of Colors, one of the people that make sure that the color pie for all Magic products is done, and actually one of the lead designers for recent sets in Magic, including Wildspell Terrain.
And what is his color?
White, I believe.
That's right. Very good.
Yeah, I got it. I got you. I was prepared. White's my least favorite color. I'm obviously Black Mage in here, but I still got respect for Chris.
Yes, absolutely, fantastic. And you need all the colors. We need all the colors.
Right.
So we've also got
Elizabeth Rice. Big Cuber has had her cube on Magic Online multiple times.
the Teamer Dreamer.
Yeah.
That's what we call her.
Yeah.
And also very knowledgeable about the lore of Magic. I was getting educated. I love on my stream. One of my favorite things to do is just to learn. I don't have time possibly. First of all, it's so much, but to read through all stuff. So I just ask, hey, what's this planeswalker do? What's this, that, and learning out stuff. She's was
breaking it down for you.
Yeah, it was incredible.
I love that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Apparently, Domri Raid, one of my favorite planeswalkers of all time.
Oh, he's dead.
How'd you know that? I guess everyone knew that.
The
word's out. I'm not reading Magic newspapers. I don't know what's going on. The word is out. The obituaries.
Zed. Sorry,
Zed's
buddy.
dead. Yeah. So Domri. It was very fun, and I will also mourn. Who else do we lose? There's a bunch of planeswalkers have died apparently. Anyway, she was educating me on all of it. I don't know what's going on.
That wasn't even recent. That was 5 years ago.
Yeah. Some
you need to get up with the times.
Nico Bolas was an Elder Dragon, and then wants to take all the sparks. Something Dargon. I think that's what I heard.
Right.
Anyway, it was incredible. Fantastic.
And then,
Loved
of course,
it.
we have Gavin Very.
Yes, Gavin Verhey. Have you guys heard of Gavin before? You know who that is?
I think most people have.
Mm-hmm. Gavin was very, very supportive of him from the very jump.
Him and David came last year.
Yes.
Him and David came last year.
And I reached out to him very early. He was on it. He got me. He was very supportive, very helpful, just giving advice, stuff like that. And he had an absolute blast.
He did.
They go to a lot of these events, and they do it because it's fun. They have a job that they love.
Because they love Magic.
They love Magic.
Ultimately, they love Magic first, and then their job comes second.
That's right.
They are people that love the game.
That's right. 100%. And even from that perspective, they were just blown away by this. Everyone I talked to was just having so much fun. This is incredible. The people. I also want to talk. We had some cosplayers come through. We had Tappy Toes, and we had I have the card I'm spacing on the name, but the Orcs come through.
Right.
I think next year I don't want to spoil anything, but we might see.
Well, you don't want to promise anything that you can't deliver on.
I want to promise anything I can't deliver, but I can promise this. I love cosplayers. I love seeing the costumes, people acting character, and all the theater stuff and stuff like that. I don't know why. I just like that stuff. We had Oko, the Crown Prince of Trickery here, but I am going to work very hard. And if I work hard on something, it's very likely it gets done. I'll say it like that. I'm going to work hard to up our cosplayers for next year. I love that stuff. And how do you feel about the cosplay? What's your?
I have a ton of respect for him. The amount of not just work that goes into it, because that's obvious.
Yes.
The work is obvious.
The work is a lot.
But the creativity, my mind doesn't work like that at all. That's not something that I don't think I could ever put together. And when I see that type of thing, I'm so impressed, because anytime I see something that someone's doing that I could never do that.
And when you say do that, do you mean put on the costume, act in character?
No, I mean the conceptualizing of putting it all together.
Oh.
Even creating it even having the idea, like looking at a picture and just being like, yeah, I know how to make that. I can't even get to that point.
How's your seamstress? How's your sewing technology?
I would say poor.
Okay.
I would say I'm not a good sewer.
This is. Are you tempted by sewing?
No.
Okay. Well, thankfully we have those who are amazing at it and love doing it, and I am going to work hard to bring them back and in greater numbers, much like the Tusken Raiders. Star Wars. Are you familiar with the 1983?
Star Wars:
Or
A New Hope.
79. Yeah, I guess that was 79.
79.
Yes.
Empire was
83.
83.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every 2 years. Yeah. So I think we're bringing back in greater numbers. That's my goal. That's one of my little submissions for next year. I just love it, and I think it just adds. It's just cool. Like, I mean, it's just so fun. I love seeing different characters, stuff like that. So that's gonna be something I work on for next year. One of my other big goals for next year. What else would I like to see here? Will be to have. I would like to have Jim Davis here. That'll be a goal. I would like Jim.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to make sure that TwitchCon doesn't happen at the same time as CubeCon.
Yes.
Jim wanted to come. Actually, Jim was one of the very first people that was like, "I'm absolutely gonna come to CubeCon."
Yeah, he was down. Although I am going to be Jim, I'm coming for you on Cube for Charity. That's coming up, by the way. Cube for Charity. Save the hilarity.
You know what you should do is what you should put on the line is if
Oh,
you win,
that's
Jim
a good
has to
idea.
come to CubeCon no matter what.
In fact, if I win, he's got to pay for me to come here.
I think that's fair.
Yes, I'm in. He has to pay my way.
He's got to pay your way.
All right. Although although this is all theoretical because we don't gamble, of course.
Of course not.
It's
as
completely
a
theoretical.
friend, this is more of an agreement that I will consider to do this as a friend of yours.
Yes, we will.
Not any no monetary things.
There's nothing monetary for sure. But I will say that that Jim is one of the homies, although also ironically one of my arch nemesises. So
well, the people closest to you sometimes.
Yes, you gotta keep him close. And also another one we got very close to was Luis Salvato, one of the top players in the world. How would you describe Luis's professional acumens?
Oh, well, he's won a Pro Tour, so that's a really good start. So he'd fit in well with a lot of people here at CubeCon.
we do have other Pro Tour winners here, yes.
We certainly do. Yeah, I mean, Luis is obviously one of the best Magic players in South America and the world, not just confined to that continent.
And just an amazing guy, too. Super sweetheart, really good guy. Argentinian player.
Right.
He's also thinking about maybe bringing some of the other Argentinian national players next year, I believe. We're in conversations.
Are you sure you want that? You want that smoke? You saying? Are you
Luis,
saying
I have
Wisconsin
a pretty good,
versus Argentina next year?
I have a pretty good record against Salvato on Cube. You can ask him. Ask him about our heads up.
I mean, you guys got taken to the limit this year from England.
Oh, did we?
I mean, look.
Were we looking to create incredible content and allowing them to win so it could go down to the wire, knowing the last match was me and Vincent?
Let me look. I know Caleb and Sam pretty well.
Yes.
And I don't know if you were throwing your matches, but I know that they were not.
Yes.
And it got down to the wire. Now, Team Wisconsin ultimately 2-0. Okay? You've defeated some Wizards. You've defeated a country.
The long-standing rivalry.
We've been liberated again from England.
Take that, King George. Bang.
So, are you saying that you are would easily dispatch Argentina next year?
I think we could take him. Salvato is very good, but I have a pretty good record against him in Cube. Ask him about it.
Okay.
Someone tag him on Twitter now. Ask him about it. We also might get another LSV. Oh, wait. Another Luis.
That's the opposite. Same letters, just a different.
Luis Salvato LSV.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Salvato.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of. We might have another LSV coming.
Well, we'll see.
Who is very excited. Could not make it this year.
Expressed some interest on Twitter, as a lot of people have. And we honestly, everyone that said, "Oh, I really wish I was at CubeCon," we do too.
Yes.
You're going to have a chance. We will figure it out so you can be here next year.
Yes.
And thank you all, everyone that has done that. Thank you so much for your continued support online. And I want to be clear. I don't care if you're the biggest name in Magic. I don't care if you found out about Magic 2 weeks ago and you just want to play Cube. Your support online, talking to your friends in your local game store is what helps us to be able to make this event the best that it can be.
We're not spending money advertising or like putting up Facebook ads or stuff like this.
Right, we don't have the money to do it.
And not only that, we don't want we that's not the goal of
that's
this.
That's not the vibe here.
Yeah, we want people to come because they want to come so what we really need is for people to know about what we're putting on. That's the Jimmy Jam. And again, thanks in huge part to Nerd Drake Games for help with that, because now a lot of you might not have even been seeing this before, but we're reaching a whole new audience. And Midwest represent, you know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of mileage. Again, even this year, out of people just saying, "Oh, my friend told me this, my play group that, da da da."
That's right.
Yep. Now, riddle me this. What would be your crowning achievement as far as what you would like to see added next year? If you could add one new thing or make one thing more better, what would that be?
Better for who?
Better for the viewer. How about something for the viewing experience?
Better
Since
for
your Jimmy Jam.
Okay, that's fair. Better for the viewing experience. Well, I think from an organizer, we have some work to make sure all of the events start and run on time. And J-Bro is going to be out, and I'm going to replace J-Bro with someone taller and maybe has a little bit more professional accolade to his name, Reed Duke.
Hey, I just walked in the door and J-Bro waved me over here, so I don't know. What are we talking about?
We're just talking about CUBECON.
Okay.
It's pretty standard.
I guess I could have guessed that.
Yeah, how J-Bro greets everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, how has your time been at CUBECON?
It was awesome. It was so much fun.
Awesome. I love to hear that because obviously, we're trying to kind of thread the needle. And we just talked to Dom Harvey a little bit ago, obviously, another very accomplished player in the professional realm, of trying to thread the needle between making this a competitive event and a casual event at the same time.
Mm-hmm. It felt like both, for sure. Like
awesome.
It felt like there was a reason to play and a reason to win, and I definitely liked engaging with the main event structure.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people might prefer just doing open play or whatever, but I liked being part of like the excitement of the main event. But at the same time, it was like we were there to have fun. We weren't trying to maximize every competitive advantage. We were doing, helping each other with triggered abilities and stuff like that, which is like not necessarily the way I would play at the Pro Tour.
Right.
So it definitely felt like both. Like it had all the upside of being part of the excitement of a big tournament, but all of the fun and low stress of like people weren't taking themselves too seriously,
Right. Getting down to the reason a lot of us fell in love with Magic in the first place.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and we see out here. I don't know if you've been in a draft from earlier today, but we still got dozens of drafts out here. People playing into the evening on Sunday.
So that's the other thing that like I've gone to a lot of different Magic events in a lot of different shapes and forms, but what really stands out about this is like the level of passion of the attendees. So we played for 13 or 14 hours on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
And it was like not only that, but like people aren't doing this for 2 days, they're doing it for 5 days.
Right.
And
yeah,
when the event finishes, they're going and drafting again at the bar. Like, I had trouble keeping up. And
and you're like, I'm a professional Magic player.
Yeah, for sure. So that was definitely something that stood out to me, was like people just loved it, really.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I mean, obviously me personally, but all of us, we're so happy you were able to join us this year. And I know your schedule is very difficult. We would love for you to come back next year if you had a great time, and hopefully that lines up to where that can happen.
Yeah, well, I did have a great time, and I hope so too. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Well, it looks like we are ready to go to our match. We're going to get J-Bro back in the booth.
All right.
So
I'll wave him down.
Reed, thank you very much, buddy.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you
everybody.
again for your time. All right, J-Bro. We're gonna get we gotta go around J-Bro's Spreckers. That's the problem here. Thanks to Reed Duke, obviously huge to have him here and to speak so kindly about CUBECON. But we're ready to go down to Tim Myers versus Andrew Jabs.
The Jabble Dabble. Let's go. Okay, so we have Tim Myers and Andrew Jabs. Andrew, who's just been a little assassin throughout this weekend, just knocking people out left and right. And also, again, his partner went on the tour of the capital with me. We see steam vents into a plains. I did see Andrew. He said his deck is completely busted and just totally insane. I got to chat with him outside. I didn't get any details, though. I think we're going to pull up the list in a little bit and look him over. But we have a 3-2.
Tenacious.
Ooh.
This looks like we have a tenacious underdog, but it's not going to get the chance.
Wow.
Its tenacity can be stopped. It can be stopped with a Path to Exile, turn 1 out of Tim Myers during Andrew's turn. And,
Interesting.
it's one of those that you're ramping a little bit, but maybe Tim is more familiar with what Andrew is doing with his deck because, well, giving someone an extra land on turn 2 is risky. There's a lot of risk in that play.
Ooh.
But we have a Lightning Greaves, a card that J-Bro was talking about.
Oh, my. This is fantastic.
To be suited up with a number of creatures like Adeline before. Now, Tim doesn't have Adeline, but might have something else that could be very dangerous for Andrew, going to negate all of that future removal.
Unfortunately, does not have Burmaz as well, but I'm sure we got something spicy. If we see the Greaves, there's going to be something to suit up. It is an aggressive Path to Exile. I mean, an additional land turn 2 is so much different than an additional land turn 7. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a much larger percentage of your lands that have increased.
that is true. Oh, wow. Now, what if those 2 cards were combined?
That's right.
What if there was Lightning Greaves and
Thief of Sanity, which is what we see on turn 3 out of Andrew Jab. Not utilizing the 4th land just yet, but does allow Andrew to play a Flooded Strand and maybe hold it up for something useful. And now we have an equipment on an equipment. Can you believe it?
God. And Magic these days.
Lion Sash going to pick up this Lightning Greaves.
And importantly, no land drop. That is huge. All right, we are unfortunately seeing Tim stuck on 2 land. That is going to go really bad against this Thief of Sanity. Although, interestingly enough, this is probably going to put a lot of permanents into the graveyard, which might allow the Lion Mane Sash to get really, really big and eventually suit up and do something with something.
That's true. Every time that Lion Sash exiles a permanent from a graveyard, it does get a +1/+1 counter.
Yes, and it can also equip to a flying creature, a lifelink creature, something like that. So with the counters counted. Okay, so we did utilize the Flooded Strand.
And he got a Triumph, which is actually important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're seeing some spicy spice out of Andrew. And again, this is a format where there is a lot of cool interactions with the 3-color decks, the 4-color decks, because of the Triumphs and the fetch lands. So it's going to connect. So Thief of Sanity lets you look at the top 3 cards, pick one, play it for the rest of the game at any CMC. Golly.
So we'll see. Hopefully we get a chance to see what Andrew drops. I know I saw a
Lauren
of the 3rd path.
Yep. There's a White Reclamation Sage, which is really good. That's what's taken against the Lightning Greaves. Again, one of my favorite cards in the cube. Right. It's the only thing I wish this cube had that does is Manglehorn, Mangle Dangle. That's what's missing.
Right. So we're setting that aside, saying this is something that was removed with Thief of Sanity. And we're now going to see Andrew deploy the Lauren of the 3rd path, probably taking care of the Lightning Greaves.
Bang, bang.
Now, I'm peeking in Andrew's list. Remember, Andrew passed a Mox Pearl to Michael Kilberry. I think I know what he took.
Okay.
His second Mox Jet.
Or could it be the card right under that?
Or Ancestral Recall.
Both good choices.
3 pieces of power and Andrew Jab's deck along with Mox Ruby. Now, we haven't seen any of those, but we know those are lurking.
Wow. That's pretty good. I will also say, Lauren, Andrew Jabble Dabble doing the right thing, pulling out the Lauren from the sleeve to indicate it is not his, so don't accidentally shuffle the wrong deck.
That's a heads-up play in Paper Magic.
Smart. Yeah. Smart. Don't have to worry about that on our wonderful sponsor, MTGO. They don't deal none of that. They give you the cards right back right away. Okay, so we're moving 2 counters, banging in for 4. With
3. I think it's a
1.
Oh,
excuse me, for 3.
1-1 here.
Sorry, So we're down to Andrew's down to 16, but in a pretty commanding lead. Despite the life situation.
I think I saw a Thoughtseize in Andrew's hand, but we might see that deployed now, which is going to be really excellent, as Tim is probably trying to form a game plan when he gets to his 3rd land.
Is that a Lurrus?
It's a Lurrus, it's a Flicker Wisp, it's a Voice of Resurgence, and it looks like perhaps a prismatic ending.
And that's the 5 mana 3/3
Othari.
Othari. That is quite a hand. Unfortunately, not enough mana to play it.
What are you taking here?
I would happily take. I can't quite see all the cards.
Well, you can see
but
one.
I think I'm taking Loris.
Yeah, I think that's what I would take
Is that
too.
what? Is that a Is that the one?
I believe we have Recruiter the Guard,
Yeah, Recruiter,
Luris,
okay.
Flicker Wisp,
That's what I thought it was.
Othari, Prismatic Ending,
Although
and
actually,
Voice of Resurgence.
Maybe you take the 3/1 because you want the more that 2/2 can get in there, the more answers you're gonna have, the more options you're gonna have. I think I rescind my previous notion. If you take the and also again, there's a tension between Luris and the equipment because he's already removed so much from the graveyard.
Jabs agrees with you. Takes
Okay.
the Flicker Wisp.
I like it. The Jabble Dabble, putting out the rabble. And good guy Tim leaving the cards out. That's what you like to see.
That's the type of thing we
Would you
get
see
at
that at the
CUBECon.
Pro Tour? Top 4
Absolutely
Pro
not.
Tour?
The respect between these players to help each other
If
out.
it was,
Look,
maybe Dom Harvey does.
we're
But
playing. No. Actually, not. Dom even said that in the booth. That said that everyone was in this mindset, including him.
yes. No, I meant maybe at the Pro Tour Dom would leave his cards out. His good guy Dom
such a
Harvey.
good guy. That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to see another land out of Jabs, and we're going to see a 5-drop, which
Oh,
is the Might Stone and the
that-
Weak Stone. Going to give the Lion Sash -5/-5. Going to send it to the bin.
Wow.
And Tim needs to land this turn, or the game is very close to being over.
So what do you make of the Mites? What do you make of this right here? This is spicy. What is going on in this deck?
Well, that's not in Jabs' deck. That's in Tim's deck. That was the second hit off of the Thief of Sanity. So we're going to continue to see exactly what you said. We're going to find answers. Jabs doesn't need to play his own cards. He's going to play Tim's.
That's right. That's pretty good. Now we did see. I believe we saw an Urza, right? Did we see the one for the 2/4 Urza in this dress? So maybe there's the combo that can make it a. Oh wow. Okay. So.
Well, let's see. So we have a Wasteland, which is saying you might not have a non-basic now, but rest assured, when you do, it will only be for a very short period of time.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my goodness. Kolaghan's
Wow,
Command,
wow.
which is going to take 2 damage to this Luris, going to make
Like
Othari
evolved.
be exiled, which it can come back in the event that there's a rebel. But I think instead we're going to see a serve for 7 across the red zone. Going to cut
Wow.
Tim's life total in half.
Golly.
And now,
And-
Thief of Sanity keeps coming. All right, looks like we see a Figure of
Wow.
Destiny, a Adonto Vanguard, and a Plane. Thief of Sanity notably cannot play lands, so you're only going to be able to play the other 2 options, and we're going to see Adonto Vanguard go under the Thief of Sanity to be played. Probably, it's going to get deployed next turn. It's a great attacker. That's what Andrew's interested in doing. We're going to see a Recruiter of the Guard from Tim to try to find some
Oy.
answer for a single white, or the game could quickly be over.
And that prismatic answer is looking pretty rough right here. 1 mana, Hachimachi.
Right.
This is, by the way, prismatic ending. What a cool design of a card. Hey,
Love it.
Well, tell us about it. What do you like about it?
Well, Prismatic Ending, so I really like it in combination with something like Leyline Binding, which we know Tim has.
True.
So it really encourages this white splashing to go into other colors, and especially now in the realm. All right, we're seeing a prismatic ending for 1 on what?
I don't understand. Wait.
Exile target. So a legal play.
It is. Yeah. I think that was maybe
No,
just a.
this was willful from Tim.
Okay.
I want to try to find out. I want to try to find out why Tim did this. He specifically tapped a white, and targeted that, and acknowledged, because Jabs looks like he was like, it's not going to kill it, and he nodded. Would there be a reason that Tim, maybe he has a balance, would try to get rid of cards in his hand? I'm going to see. We're going to take a peek at Tim's
balance
deck
would
list.
be pretty good.
That's going to be my deck. My guess.
Balance would be good, but I mean, even if there is a balance here, Jabs can still get Jabble Dabble can still get through with the Creep and Tar Pit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I think Tim is a heads up enough player to know that's not going to do it. But he's going to go down to 2, and that's going to be it for game 1. Yeah, we're going to see a blocker deployed, but we know that only Voice of Resurgence is in his hand. We have 2 lethal attackers, both in Creeping Tar Pit as well as that Thief of Sanity, going to come across the red zone and get this very first game for Andrew Japs. Andrew Japs says, if you're not going to concede, I'm going to kill your land on the way out, buddy.
Even knowing all the cards in hand. All right. GG's. Wow, Jabs is not kidding. This deck is for real, ferocious.
Right. Yeah, and yeah. Why don't you go ahead and give those cards back? Give those cards back to Tim here because Andrew mainly used Tim's cards against him.
Yeah, that was pretty one-sided. Again, the mana screw, the lack of diversified mana, making it a rough time. On the other hand, it was really nice to see Thief of Sanity get some uninterrupted time in, and actually taking the 3-1 quite good as it turned out.
Yeah, the Lauren. Yeah, that actually.
The Flicker Wisp.
Oh, the Flicker.
As opposed to the 3-2.
The Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
Taking the Flicker Wisp.
Yeah, pretty good. Because having that 2-2 draw so many cards was certainly relevant.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Changed the context of the game.
Yeah.
You were right on about that.
So we like that play. Good job. Do we have? I don't know if we have a backup match. I think we're just gonna stick with this one. But if it ends really quickly, we might go to the other match later.
Well, we still got at least one more, maybe two.
Yes.
But in the meantime, I want to tell you something. I want to tell you about our exclusive sponsor for CubeCon University.
Ooh, tell me more. I love learning.
That's Card Castle.
Oh.
Card Castle, thank you to them for sponsoring. We had 2 panels here at CubeCon. CubeCon University, they're the premier collection management platform for Magic players and collectors.
Yeah, they are.
You're both of those. You have Magic cards. You're playing and collecting.
Oh yeah, but it's such a hassle to like sort them into a system where I know where they are and how many I got of stuff and how to even like order them alphabetically, stuff like that. So I don't know what to do.
Well, I can tell you what to do. You go and use Card Castle because you can merge the physical and the digital.
Tell me more.
You can just take your phone. You got your phone right here?
Oh, I do. I'm
Boom.
watching chat right here. Bang, bang, bang.
I know you are, and you could use your phone to catalog your entire collection. You could build a cube on there and manage that cube. You can even make sure all your prices for your cards in your collection are up to date.
How?
You just simply take your phone and you scan your cards. You scan your cards.
That is incredible.
Your phone has a camera?
Yes.
You're in.
Very good.
That's
camera.
all you need.
All right.
That's all you need. Free your mind from the chaos and the clutter of your collection. Join the thousands of Magic players organizing their cards with Card Castle.
Yes. Huge thank you to Card Castle, one of our premier sponsors, our mythic level sponsors. You believed in us. You were very helpful. You sent some cool stuff our way and also helped support the event. Thank you. Thank you. CubeCon couldn't happen without you. And if you don't like, I have a lot of cubes.
Right.
It is a lot of work to manage, and you don't remember, did I put this over here, did I put that over here, Having a system that you can just do from your phone is so awesome and so brilliant. I would, again, I mean, I could just say as a sponsor, okay, these are, this is that. But I will say from a personal perspective, it is dope. So
I was actually, before we hooked up with Card Castle to be a sponsor for our CubeCon University stuff.
CubeCon U?
I was not familiar with them. And I'm someone that some of you probably know that are watching this famously is a big fan of spreadsheets.
Yes.
So my cube lists.
We call him Justin Spreadsheet Parnell for a reason.
My cube lists are all on a Google Sheet.
Yep.
I did upgrade from Excel because Google Sheet you can access. I can access from my phone. But I think I'm going to give Card Castle a try. I legitimately am. And not just because they're our sponsor. I have been sold reading this ad over the 4 weeks. They've talked me into it.
It will make your life a lot easier. As a cube curator.
I know. I am going to use it exactly for that.
You know what? I'm going to take it a step further. It's possible it's the best life decision one could ever make.
It's possible. Only one way to find out, and that's download Card Castle.
Yes. We also see a wonderful squirrel walking by. I'm going to give a little story behind that while we're waiting.
Okay, go
ahead. I was contacted by a couple people who were not able to come because of their military obligations and because the military is, in America anyway, really, really bad about time, getting stuff on a timely manner and da-da-da. So anyway, they didn't think they were able to come because of their obligations, but when they
thanks, buddy.
Yes, when they were able to finally get the okay, they could get it free. We're already sold out. So we made the CUBECON Lite passes partially because of interest like that, and also for other reasons. We had some openings. Anyway, they came here. I don't know why this is, but they both dressed in squirrel suits and shark suits,
Okay.
which is awesome. I don't know why, they just like doing it, and got some great times in.
Okay.
Top 64. I believe one of them got 40th. Can't remember the
Nice.
other. And just had a total blast. We were able to accommodate them, and the military thing did, and that they were able to get off in the right time or this or that. So awesome. Back to the game.
All right.
We got the Jabber Dabber on the draw. We got
Right.
Tim taking a look. Hopefully a better mana situation. Although sometimes when you're looking this hard at the cards, it means you're stuck on 2 mana. Do I risk it for the brisket to go? Okay, we're in it. By the way,
Well, you know what? How about 2 mana on the first turn as he deploys a Mox Emerald to put one of the best attackers in the cube onto the battlefield on turn 1 in a Danto Vanguard?
Seems good, especially compared to a Steam Vent on the draw. Now, what type of Mox is that? What type of Mox Emerald is that?
That's a beta Moxer. I
Beautiful.
believe all of the black bordered power here is beta, not alpha.
Beautiful. Love to see it.
Which honestly,
That's pretty cool.
I'm a bigger fan of beta than alpha personally.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You need the consistent corners. Knock if you buck.
That's exactly right.
This is quite the start. Hachimachi. Now
Danto
this.
Vanguard going to come in for 3, going to get +2/+0 when it attacks, and then we're going to deploy a Voice of Resurgence and Figure Destiny.
And a couple buddies joining the fray. This is exactly what we're looking for Tim. Andrew really on the back foot. He's still at a healthy 17.
You know what I peeked in his hand? Yeah, Mox of his own.
Ooh, okay,
Andrew
we're still
says,
in it.
You're going to jump up
You got
one.
power.
I want to jump up
I got
one.
power. Oh my. Well,
The card that won the game for Andrew last game.
that's pretty good. Although even it's not necessary. We still have a pretty healthy clock. So let's say we swing in there for 7, down to 10. Next turn we can pump again. If we deploy one more threat, this is a tough board state for Andrew, even
right.
with the additional 3 cards.
Tim attacking for 6. We know that Figure Destiny can make itself into a 2/2, which it does right now. And Andrew going to take 7 down to 10. Thief of Sanity,
Wow.
great attacker, poor block.
That's oh, okay. Now we have a 3rd white source. If we want to pump the Kithkin into a 4/4, putting the
Gonna need to do that with a mana source. That's,
okay,
right.
there we go.
Path to Exile, aggressively used like it was in the last game. Did not work out last game.
Although this time it's on the upkeep or
Well,
possibly draw step.
It's on the right. It's on the upkeep or draw step, and more importantly, it's with a significant amount of pressure.
Yes, and also not turn 1. So it's a or whatever turn that was. I guess his turn 1 is.
Yeah, it was Tim's turn 1, and now Andrew on the back foot. I mean, we are currently have 7 power coming across, and here's the thing: we can add 2 to that.
Yep, with Kithkin.
Yeah, the Figure Destiny can turn into a 4/4. That's going to be 9 power. Put Andrew to 1.
No more fetch lands.
Yeah, exactly. We're just going to turn off fetch lands, turn off potentially if there's a Force of Will or anything else that costs a life. So this is Andrew's. This turn needs to be meaningful. It can't just be land pass. We got to do something.
Now Andrew does have more power in the deck, right?
Andrew does have more power in the deck.
So we could see a tremendous turnaround here, but oh my!
Oh, we got
wow.
something. Now I said there's got to be a big play. There's not many bigger plays than saying, I'll play the 1 ring. You can try to deal me as much damage as you want. 1,000? No problem. I'll stay at my same life total.
Okay, so the One Ring is a 4-mana legendary artifact, indestructible. When the One Ring enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you gain protection from everything until your next turn. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life for each burden counter on the One Ring. You can tap it at any point to put a burden counter on 1 ring, then draw a card for each burden counter. So first turn draw 1, second 2, third 3. Wow. Although at 9 life, it is
it's not infinite. It's not infinite. And
it's definitely not infinite.
No.
Although I just thought of it. What about Mind Over Matter with the One Ring? How about that?
That will draw your whole deck, and you could likely use your cards to untap all of those. That would be good if Andrew has Mind Over Matter. I don't think it's in the cube.
I don't think so.
You know,
but I like that idea.
For context, I will double check. In my vintage cube, I actually do have that combo.
That's awesome. Can we? I did not even think about that before. Can we put Mind Over Matter on the screen, production? I have not thought about that card for a long time. It is blue, 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 blue 2. Choose and discard a card. Tap or untap target artifact, creature, or land. So you simply discard a card you tap the one ring, draw a card, discard a card, untap it, tap it, draw 2 cards, discard one of those, untap it, tap it, draw 3. You can go through your whole deck quite quickly. Bang, bang, bang.
You sure can. Andrew going to take the opportunity to draw 2 cards with 1 ring, which is going to basically put a suspend 1 on a shock to his face next turn.
Wow. This is, well, I wonder, does Andrew have ways to get rid of the one ring, though? Because
he does.
Oh,
let me tell you, he has it in Duretti Ingenious Iconoclast.
Oh my!
And he's going to do that exactly now.
Wow!
I like to call this the Spaghetti Man.
Duretti Spaghetti. You love to see it. Wow. Okay, so 1 black red for a 3 loyalty planeswalker.
Oh
no!
This is a bad. This is a bad news.
Wow.
So we have a Restoration Angel coming out, which is going to take out the Figure of Destiny, which maybe have been blinked. But here's the problem. We're still attacking for 8.
Yes.
Figure of Destiny did reduce the amount of damage taken by 1, but Andrew was not expecting it, and it has a Plains left up, likely to go down to 1 life with no other cards to be able to cast. That's bad news.
That's bad news. In my part of the world, we call that the bad news. This is really tough now. I don't know how...
Another tap land.
Andrew could, and also even if there's some sort of board wipe, a damnation, we still have a threat on the table.
Right. Because, well, we actually have 2 threats.
Or 2 threats.
Adanto Vanguard will stick around, and Figure Destiny is just going to spit out a 2/2.
Yep.
So you're still looking, even with a sweeper, you're looking at 5 damage on the attack next turn. Tim in pole position here in the 2nd round of our top 8 coverage.
Where I come from, they call this a tough situation.
Do they?
Yes, that's the nomenclature.
I wonder what they call it elsewhere.
Also, another cool thing about Duretti Spaghetti is having Moxen and letting, or any mana ramp, letting you do it right away.
So this is a heads up play. This is a heads up play, and we got a Mike Stone and a Weak Stone, likely to draw 2 cards. A heads up play from Tim, not putting Andrew to 1.
Yes.
But actually taking care of Duretti, because if you can't deal lethal.
Yes.
Deal with a threat that can provide blockers or be a removal spell.
Although, even if he was at 1 and did that, then okay.
And he's going to scoop it up. Finish
there
your thought
would
here.
still, to pay 4 mana to do that, there would still be enough threats to kill if he was at 1, and there was another Duretti token created. So,
but you know what?
But still the heads up. Yeah. This still play correct.
Yeah, the heads up play, even, I mean, this is maximum safety, right?
Yeah.
Still going to play correct even when it seems like, well, I probably have this, maybe put him down to 1, but makes more sense here.
Yeah, totally. And I think that I'm still, can we pull up? Do you have the other deck? I'm still not quite sure
I can tell you.
What's going on with Tim's deck exactly? I'm still very confused. Is it just aggressive,
Let's find
some
out.
disruption, and some card for? Why is Might Stone, Meek Stone in there, whatever it's called?
Why is it in there? Well, it can cast a number of cards. It can cast Steel Seraph, that's in Tim's deck, and it can cast Palomir, the Orthic, the Orb. It can cast Lightning Greaves, which we saw.
Okay. I like Lightning Greaves. Is that
it can technically cast Cauldron Complete.
Okay.
Which we know is also in.
Well, I guess if you have 5 mana for, I guess that does track. Okay. Well, and I guess I can also equip Caldera Complete.
It can.
So
it can move
there's
it.
that use.
So, but it's a colorless, flexible card. Now, Tim's deck is a little bit low to the ground. It's primarily white. He actually, honestly, doesn't really have much green. He had that Mox Emerald. That, I mean, truly won in the game. That's actually the power of Mox on the play in an aggressive deck. Lets you play 3-power creature, 2-power creature, back-to-back, and able to get in there before Andrew could even get a foothold on the game. Starting with that Steam Dance and not a lot else.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But primarily a white aggressive deck. There's a handful of other things, but it's a lot of white cards. Yeah.
Well, I mean, with Mox, anything's possible. Plus, I will say that Otari really does carry the day. That card is fantastic and does so much work and asks so little. Like being able to go 5 damage and then make 2 more 1/1s, 3 more, 2/2s, 3 more 2/2s. Like,
yeah, that card's pretty nuts.
I'll
give it to you. It is
that can do a lot
very
of work.
silly card.
Especially, is there any other ramp besides the Mox, or is that
Yes, there is. Might Zone a weak stone.
Okay.
No,
Well,
but no, not for Othari. It looks like we are just working with
So we-
the Mox Emerald.
we don't have any like Lana Royale for Birds of Paradise or nothing.
We do not have any other green cards. We have a Sylvan Caryatid.
Okay. But
Uh,
that's probably not the.
I don't think.
So we're just rocking the 2/2 that makes a star. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like we're basically working with Voice of Resurgence. I mean, maybe the Sylvan Caryatid is intent. He's got a Titan of Industry in his available to him. Technically, he's got Kitchen Finks, but that's doesn't need. Obviously, he's got mostly planes. That's going to be sufficient for that. So, yeah, it's mainly Voice of Resurgence. Now, to be fair, Voice of Resurgence good against Andrew. Got a lot of instant speed interaction.
Yes. It's
Good, but is it worthwhile to have in his deck to worry about staying in your hand if you can't cast?
I feel like these decks are stretched a little thin, and I'll say this is, especially people don't have a lot of experience with it. This Vintage Cube iteration is very, it's very easy to be derailed. Why? Because it doesn't have. Oh, okay. We're going back to. I'll finish that thought in a second. Let's see what we're popping off with.
Fixing's very easy. So
Fixing's
easy. It
easy.
can trick you sometimes.
Yes, and also it doesn't have. It's not as locked into linear strategy types as normal. It's not just like drafting all. It's much more flexible and modular, and that makes it more complicated if you're not used to drafting it, and can make it a lot harder. Where you think you're in one direction, go another, and then you just have. You don't have enough cards in your color. You gotta just jam it and make it happen. Okay.
Good cube design, but can be difficult for inexperienced drafters.
I actually think that's. I think it's a huge plus.
Yeah,
There is
I
a
do
li-
too.
Yeah, like in my cubes that I play, I really don't like hyperlinear, like driving people towards specific lanes. And
You
saying,
want to give
"You're
people the ingredients and see what they cook up.
Exactly. I want to see what's cooking. Do you smell what the cube is cooking?
Well, what I smell right now is 2 mulligans. To
Okay.
6. So
Hey.
best case scenario, Tim and Andrew are going to be on 6.
You know what's better than one mulligan?
2 mulligans. I don't want either of them to mulligan.
Actually, no mulligan. Yeah, I suppose
Yeah,
no
no
none is better.
mulligans, yeah.
But if you're gonna have one person do it, I'd like to have both.
Right.
Let's start. Let's keep this fight fair.
Caleb and I had a game on Wednesday where after I quickly dispatched him 2-0 in our draft, he was like, what if we just both mulligan to 3 and then play? So we did it.
Okay.
He won the multi 3 game.
Yeah, that's his go-to. Don't let him trick you. That's a spider building its web.
I'd already beaten him.
He loves mulling to 3. He loves it. Loves bringing people in. That's his go-to move.
Oh, he's got to bring me down to his level. He did.
So how about, I just have to say, look at these beautiful play mats. Shout out to John of Cultic Cube. If you have not checked out Cultic Cube on YouTube or Twitch or Twitter, Twitter, check him out. Ooh.
We have an exploration on turn 1 off of a stomping grounds. The second follow-up plan is going to be a fiery islet out of Andrew Jabs.
But taking a lot of damage already. Taking probably at least 3 damage off of our first 2 lands when that one gets tapped.
And looks like we have a
Another
godless shrine on the left for Tim, but no turn 1 play.
Is that a wasteland? Is that? Wait, what?
We're tapping, drawing a card. Why play land when you can simply play boxing?
No,
and
we've got both.
And
wow.
Well, he's gonna first deploy this wasteland, and he's gonna hold the strip mine in his hand. He doesn't want Tim to know that his next land is also not gonna do anything either.
Okay, so if there's is there Crucible Worlds in the deck? If we have Crucible, this is gonna be all but over. But wow. Double.
And strip mine is going to come down. One of my favorite cards in every single cube. It's just about in. I love a wasteland and a strip mine. I am that type of player.
Wow, Jabble Dabble looking pretty good here. I mean,
I got good news for you or bad news. I'm going to show you a card.
Oh my. Whose deck is that in?
This is in Andrew Jab's deck. You want to show people what I'm showing you?
We see a Crucible. We see a Crucible on the board. Now, if the Crucible is on Tim's side, that would be quite good here. But we might see Crucible Exploration on Andrew's side. Hachi, Machi. Oh no, we're into the discard phase. The double strip mine too strong.
Yeah.
The
good news is Andrew simply just deploying lands and passing I mean, good. And I'm putting good news in air quotes.
Okay.
Because it's not good news for Tim, but you know what? At least he's drawn his second lane and deployed one of his best threats.
Yes, that is a resilient threat that Burst Lightning ain't going to kill it unless he chooses to. Interesting that the land gets played here instead of cycled. I wonder what that means. We want the full Burst Lightning?
Well, potentially, Andrew could have something that simply just costs 5.
Well, we got a grip full of cards. I mean, to me, I'm looking for that Crucible as quick as I can find it. That's just going to be bang bang here. So again, Crucible with Exploration and Strip Mine means that you can strip it, replay it, strip it, replay it.
Right. Yeah. If you haven't played any lands yet, and instead we see a pass, and then a Tide Taker. Well, that's a 2/1 that has Afterlife 1, which means when it dies, you'll get a 1/1 black and white spirit in place of it, and during the time that it's alive, spells that Andrew's going to cast during Tim's turn and abilities going to activate are going to cost 1 more.
Pretty good. Another resilient threat. Okay,
Tenacious Underdog.
That's interesting. That's going to potentially trade with this 2/1, but it has another ability.
It does Blitz. So Andrew can pay 2 black, pay 2 life to return it from his graveyard to the battlefield with haste, but you have to sacrifice it in a turn. You get 3 damage in and draw a card at the end of the turn because whenever you sacrifice something with Blitz, that is what happens.
Why is that the physics? Why does that exist? What are the physics where if you're like running really fast and it dies, you get to draw a card? Like, why is that?
What's the flavor to that?
Yeah,
I actually don't know.
Why would that be?
We got a Flicker Wisp.
Oh, no.
What are we flickering here?
Oh, we're taking out that 3/2. We're going to bang in for 5 right here. Bang, bang, bang in that chicken wing.
I mean, that's the only real option.
Well, and we got some evasive threats. We got him at 10. This is closer than it looks. Quite the start from Andrew, but Tim has got a grip full of cards, right? Got 3 lands. Let's see. Is there an answer? Oh, we saw Burst Lightning, right?
We're gonna say 3 mana, and we're gonna say a Containment Priest that's gonna get flashed in.
Now, why does that cost 3 mana?
Because of Tide Taker. So anything that Andrew casts on Tim's turn is gonna cost 1 more.
Okay. Containment Priest can never contain these beats.
Now, here's the dangerous thing. If Containment Priest were somehow to live...
Yes. That would be pretty rough.
The Tenacious Underdog would never come back.
Can that 2/1 just throw it, just like drop?
I'd be like, actually, your creature can
just
live.
beat me up, yeah. Is there a way that you can send out the message? Like he's on the battlefield, you're like, hey, I need you to just take one for the team.
Take one for the team.
Just like stop fighting. I don't think Dominaria has like cell phones or like satellite technology, right?
No.
Although maybe if they're on Neon, like maybe they could instantly relay information. If they had like a planeswalker who could tell it, anyway.
All right, we see our 1/1 black and white spirit with flying comeback. Tenacious Underdog does. I would imagine this Burst Lightning is going to take out Flicker Wisp.
I think
that's the most dangerous threat right now.
I would go for that over the spirit in this situation. Let's see. We're probably just gonna block. Yeah, do it now before untap plays land. It gets a 3/4 to blink it.
Yeah, we don't want any of that.
No, we don't.
Bad news.
Plus, if you blink it, they can Flicker Wisp out the Angel. Then you can Angel out the Flicker Wisp.
Or even potentially even more dangerous, you Flicker Wisp out the Tenacious Underdog yet again and attack for 4.
And it does it till the end of the next turn.
Right.
Because of how the triggers work.
So
the timing.
Jab's coming in for 3 though.
Nice.
Knocking Andrew down from his lofty life total of 20, but I have to imagine there is something up his sleeve.
Yes, because why would you swing when you could just block? Unless, for some, maybe the 3 damage isn't worth just blocking here. Maybe he just doesn't want to sacrifice a 3/2 for 3 damage here. Okay. So what is in store now? Maybe, let's see. What would you like to see here?
Tim wants to continue to apply the pressure, so I would imagine we just want, really any 2 or 3 power creature. We see it in Indatha Triumph, which is going to provide that green mana to Tim.
Okay.
Steel Seraph.
Interesting.
Post-combat. Well, no, okay, I get this one, actually. And you're probably saying, why? Because you're going to trigger it. Well, so Andrew passed without playing. He only played Burst Lightning and then passed, right?
True.
So I would leave mana up to try to disincentivize him from leaving something up. It's not going to work. It actually did work out. It actually did work out. He got an extra damage in because with the Kolagon's command, took out the Steel Seraph and would have give Andrew a life back because it would not have attacked with that spirit.
Wow. That is the beats.
Right.
Golly.
So Andrew did have something, and now we're going to see a thought seize.
Oh, and there was the Altari. Although the rest of these threats are actually quite relevant.
Remember last time?
Life.
Remember that last time when
Prismatic
Prismatic Ending was bad?
Yes.
Not the case here. He's got 4 colors of mana.
Not the case here. And even at 2 colors of mana, being able to going for interesting. So now we're gonna get to do the we're off to the races.
So Othari's gonna go to.
I don't know how Andrew's coming back from this. Is Tim gonna win?
Well, Othari's going to the graveyard, so he's not going to be able to attack with it. Not going to have another attacker outside of this Adanto Vanguard. But Andrew's, well, he can't bring it back. You need a Rebel to bring back Othari.
But we are able to swing in for 3.
Right.
We're able to remove the blocker. We're able to play a Grim Lavamancer or the equipment.
Or both.
Or
if we draw a land.
Oh, if we draw a land, correct.
If we draw a land, we could have both.
Yes, if that was a land, you can do both. And it's looking a little grim. I don't know how.
It's not, and I think Jabs has 1 card, and it's going to need to be a good one. I think we're going to start with this Prismatic Ending on the blocker.
Yep.
And that's just going to happen.
That's pretty good.
All right. Looking like we're going to cut the life total in half.
Okay. So this is a good move. It 1 uses the mana efficiently, and 2 presents 2 lethal threats.
Right.
So if there's a blocker here, we can still bink in for 3 or 3.
We're going to need a big draw, probably something like Ancestral Recall.
That ain't going to do it. That's why we played the other one.
That's not going to do
Although
it.
I guess that one, the Grim Lavamancer would have done to 2 because you shoot and swing for 3.
Right, yeah. Again, as we noted before, Thief of Sanity, good attacker, poor blocker.
Yeah.
Poor blocker. Now, let's see. Does Andrew have something?
The body language doesn't look like it to me. Looks like this is...
We're going to eat something. We're going to eat a permanent out of Andrew's graveyard. We're eating another permanent. And it's going to be both of those Wasteland Strip Mine. And this is going to be an incredible comeback.
Yes.
From Tim after Andrew Wasteland Strip Mine
on
turn 2 and turn 3. And Tim Myers is headed to the finals.
Beating 3 power, 3 times the power in deck. Don't call it a comeback. You've been here for years. This is incredible.
3. I mean, I might 3.5. I'm going to give Strip Mine a half.
Strip Mine was, and not only that, had the Strip Mine and the Wasteland and the Crucible Worlds. Wow. Hey, only a CUBECON.
Exploration with that.
Yeah. Especially after that start. Take out both your lands. You're discarding to hand size. You're doing nothing, no threats. Slowly but surely working your way back in. Never giving up hope. Man, incredible. What a great match.
And what a fight back from Tim.
And going down to 3. I don't know if we have the other one queued up, because that one took a while.
Yeah, we're going to find out if we have a backup match here. But yeah, well, I mean, what an incredible comeback. We are going to go see our backup match, and we know that. All right, we have. Oh boy, we're getting. We're gonna find out what the state is here.
The body language looks like, I'm gonna say.
Well, this could be going to game 3.
Okay.
All right. So we have Ryan Leak.
Back to us.
Hey,
that was a quick one.
Seen you guys in a while. All right, so we're gonna go to game 3 to find our other finals. It's gonna be between Ryan Leak. Jonathan Leak. Ryan Leak is we're going to go with.
Yes, Ryan.
Ryan Leak.
Who is a very, very, very good Magic player. I've got the honor to play against him twice, both at the SCG Con and at CubeCon. And, great mind for the game. I think one of the co-designers of the Live the Dream Cube, or had some sort of input on it in that playtest group with David. I think.
That I do not know.
You will know that better than me. I think I remember us talking about. I think I remember him and I discussing that at our when we played last. Either way, I might be misremembering, but you'll know better than me.
Took this game 2, and I know I saw a Black Lotus, and I saw
not only Black Lotus, a beautiful Beta Black Lotus. Wow. What's the going price for one of those? Varies widely depending on.
More than this can of Spreckers.
Well, it's. Hard to put
Can't put a price on this.
Yeah,
though.
hard to put a price on these guys. This is
we
delicious
know,
and nutritious.
I'm gonna pull up Mr. Leak's deck here. So we know that Michael is on mono green and a very powerful mono green.
Yes, we got Channel, Eldrazi. We got even Channel into what's that other Expel Devastation?
Finale of
iteration? Yeah, Finale iteration.
And Ryan's deck is very exciting. He has, I think we have a Storm deck here.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
We have High Tide.
By the way, mildly played Beta Black Lotus 28,000 on
So
TCG
that's
currently.
moderately played.
Moderately played.
Not mildly played.
What's the difference between moderately and mildly?
There's no such thing as mildly played.
There's
You
mild
just made
salsa.
that up.
I make up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There's mild salsa.
There is. And if you
There's-
had that on your Black Lotus, it would neither be mildly played nor moderately played. It would be damaged.
That's fair. Well, does it depend? What if it was spicy salsa?
It would be
Does it-
extra
would that-
damaged.
But extra spicy.
But extra spicy. You can still
So-
cast it.
Hey, you can still
You
eat
can still
it.
put it in your cube.
You can still use it as a salsa dispensary.
That is a
Device.
Jonathan Brostoff suggestion, not a CubeCon suggestion.
Not yeah. I am not suggesting it, but it could be done.
Can
But I'm
be
not
done.
saying you should do it. But you
So-
could do it.
So, Ryan has Yawgmothville, High Tide, Lion's Eye Diamond, Demonic Tutor, Wheel of Fortune,
Okay.
Mind's Desire, Manamorphose, Tendrils of Agony, Echo of Aeons,
Do we have a? We said Lion's Eye Diamond.
Mhm.
Okay.
Black Lotus, which we saw.
Lotus and Lion's Eye Diamond. Wow.
Yeah.
This is.
And with the Echo of Aeons.
Yep. You get a free. In fact, one of
Pretty
one of my
solid.
favorite plays in this particular cube,
Okay.
as in anyone you can do it with though, but Echo Lion's Eye Diamond into Echo Eon's turn 1.
Yeah.
So your opponent doesn't know what they got going on.
Well, neither do you.
Yeah, you need to play land or something first.
We call that the forced mulligan.
Yeah. I love it.
We have
I love it.
the forced mulligan. So we are hopefully going to be going down for game 3. We could be doing some very, very heavy sideboarding here because we have not seen these two come back. Also a mana drain, which doesn't contribute necessarily to the Storm game plan, but quite a powerful card nonetheless. And
Yes.
we know that Michael is going to be on the play here with his mono green deck, and that's exactly where he wants to be.
Although it looks like Michael might be going down. It kind of looks like a mulligan to me. Both body language and he's still shuffling. And also, is Brainstorm? I mean, Brain Freeze. You said in this. It's just tendrils.
I don't think so. I think it's just tendrils.
Tendrils, Mind's Desire. Okay.
Tendrils. Now, he's got a lot of ways to find it. There's also a mystical tutor.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
Number of ways to find it.
Not mad at that.
Not mad at that.
This is. Oh, are we going
Are
down?
we going to 5? Is Michael going to 5? That's going
Whoa.
to be a really frustrating way for his tournament to end, if that's
Now,
the case.
There's also another theory that I subscribe to. As we talked about last time when we cast on this, there was another mono green deck, which is channel 2 forests Eldrazi combo. This might just be so sometimes
That's a 4-card combo could
yeah
win the game.
sometimes you just want to go to your combo,
Right.
or it could even be 1 forest 1 elf.
Right.
But sometimes you just want to go to your combo and just get like
Well,
there we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, let me tell you, we have some Forest, some Rofilos, and some other cards. So, looks
Bang,
like this
bang.
is just the. I can't tell if it's a Multi 5 or Multi 6. Looks like
Looks
it is
like
a Multi 5.
Yeah.
So we have Forest, Rofilos, and then whatever else Michael has is gravy for him. And he is going to start with that Forest, as Ryan has a choice between a Watery Grave, tapped, most likely, and a Volcanic Island.
Wow.
Gonna go with the Watery Grave, untapped. I can't quite see what is in his hand, what we're going to deploy with this. We know it's not a Thoughtseize. It's going to Candelabra.
Candelabra.
Taunos.
Candelabra, buck.
All right.
Okay,
There's
off to the
Rofilos.
races. Bang,
There's
bang.
Rofilos. And we know we have in Ryan's deck a High Tide, which is going to contribute to
Yes.
that Candelabra being powerful mana engine.
Were you when you were coming up? Was Candelabra a big card for you?
Well, no, but yes, at the same time.
Okay.
Big card in what way?
Did it have a big impact in your play group?
I was the only one that had one, and I had it in my Tolarian Academy deck. I only
Alright.
had one,
Makes sense.
and it was really good with Tolarian Academy.
Okay, so we're going for Manamorphose here. Interesting. Ooh, drew the Lion's Eye Diamond. Could we see some fancy schmancy buck? Well, that's the other thing too, is that no matter what Michael's doing, he can get all this power on the board, all this cool stuff, like making it happen, and then out of nowhere we could see Ryan just turn it on and win it, in the drop of a hat. So what mana are we at? We're trying to get Demonic Tutor on?
We have a Demonic Tutor. Ryan has a Demonic Tutor in his hand.
Yeah, is that what's going on here?
We don't exactly know what colors of mana. I would imagine we're going to find out it is Demonic Tutor. So we have black and something else.
Something else.
And obviously Ryan doesn't have to show Michael what he's getting. Demonic Tutor lets you get any card out of your library. Could be going for that High Tide. As we know, there's two islands. Could be another one, and that could jump Ryan up to a significant amount of mana very quickly.
How much mana is that?
Well, right now it would only be 3, which is not very helpful.
Well, if we High Tide, tap for 4.
Well, we would have to have more islands.
Yeah, if we High Tide, tap for if we play an island.
Yeah, if we play an island,
tap for 4, untap 3, go to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 7.
7.
So we could do like Echo of Eons or something.
Well, you could do. You could probably.
Time Spiral?
I mean, you could. Yeah, he doesn't have a Time Spiral.
Huh?
He doesn't have a Time Spiral.
Oh my, that's another forest. You know what's really good with Rofalos? Prime Time.
Primeval Titan.
Let's go.
And I bet this is going to get a Forest and a Gaia's Cradle.
Seems good.
The only other land that's going to produce more than 2 mana, because essentially every forest is going to produce 2, and we do see the Gaia's Cradle on Michael's side.
Pretty
Just because
good.
the operation of his deck is somewhat simple doesn't necessarily mean it's any less powerful.
Yes, even on a mull to 5, we are really in the driver's seat here now. Although,
and Michael's totally fine with this. This mull to 5 was not a big deal to him.
Yes,
he found the cards he needed: Forest, Rofalos, and then what else?
and
whatever else
races.
he wants.
Any threat, and also again, Ryan is playing a deck where just out of nowhere he can just completely take this down. Now again, this is round 2. The back of oh my!
We have a Toxic Deluge,
Machi.
and this is likely going to go for 6. Take out that Primeval Titan and Rofalos. That's
So
exactly the case. We're going to put Ryan down to 12.
And put Gaia's Cradle down to 0.
Yeah.
That is a big deal.
Worse than a Forest now.
Yes. Wow.
Now that probably won't be the case for long. All right, it's back to Forest
Back
level.
to at least Forest.
Yeah, so
possibly Morris.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
that buys a lot of time.
Yeah,
wow, what a play.
Michael only has 1 card left in hand, and we do see
do
see more mana. And I think there's a chance that Ryan, as a heads-up play, got that Toxic Deluge with the Demonic Tutor. Probably aiming just to get Rofalos. That might be one of the only only removal spells in his deck, and says, well, whatever he gets, whatever he casts, I will be able to get both of them.
All
right.
Oh no.
We're gonna see a channel.
Oh no.
Using his mana this time.
Oh no, that's a Finale of Devastation. Wow.
And if this doesn't meet a counter spell.
Wow.
This doesn't mean a counterspell. This is likely going to be the game.
Oh.
Finale of Devastation. We're going to see. We're going to see exactly what happens to Michael's life. So it's going to go to 10. So X is going to equal 10 straight up. So we have a creature coming into play, and all of his creatures are going to get +10/+10 in haste, which is going to be it for Ryan if he doesn't have anything else.
Well,
and this is a heck of a way to win if this is the way that Michael ends it.
Yeah, this is quite the top 4. Okay,
so
is that a
well? It's
16,
it's gonna get haste. It's gonna get haste. So now if this dies, we're still gonna take out 2 of his permanents, and the hand goes across the table.
Woo!
Michael lets out a sigh of release as he's going to the finals with mono green.
That's incredible. What a match. Michael getting it done. That is incredible. Michael going to the finals.
Channel doing it.
Channel getting it done. Again, it's exactly the play I called earlier. Channel has a lot of versatility. Even sometimes when you got Craterhoof, Baloth, and Green Sun Zenith, sometimes you just need 3 green to summon a Craterhoof.
Craterhoof is very powerful. And this was, I don't know. I'm going to check and see if Michael even has Craterhoof. But I think his decision to get the Woodfall Primus there made a lot of sense. Going to take, in case it doesn't work out, you can take your opponent off. You're going to take your opponent You're going to take your opponent off of some resources.
Yep.
Important when they're working with Candelabra. You might have seen a High Tide earlier in the game. Let's find out if a hoof is lurking.
So riddle me this.
Not the case, but
still
matters little for Michael.
Little. So this was fantastic. What an incredible match.
So
Riddle me this. You're on the play, green, you play into a, let's say, swamp. So you play forest, they play swamp. No, you play forest, they play creeping tar pit. You play forest, play channel.
right.
And the only card you can cast is Walking Ballista. How big do you go?
So Walking Ballista, if you put 10 into it, it's a 5/5.
That's
if
right.
you put 18 into it, it's a 9/9.
True.
So I would probably go. Is this game 1?
Yes. No information.
Yeah, I would probably go to. They play a. So 2, 7. I would go to. I would spend 12 life and make it X equals 6.
Okay.
So.
That's pretty good.
Reason for that is something goes wrong. Still going to take them 3 attacks with Creeping Tar Pit to hit me.
Yep.
If I go to 6, that's only 2 attacks.
Yep.
And that is still
A 2-turn clock.
Yeah.
Yep. I like it.
Yeah,
Good
so
answer.
That's my number.
Chat, what says you? What number do you go to?
So, J-Bro, tell me about your thoughts for this matchup. We know the finals matchup now. We have Tim Meyer on mono white, white and friends against this very focused mono green deck.
Yes, I think that. I mean,
let me rephrase this question: how can Tim win?
Tim's path is this: he needs to have early disruption, such as prismatic, prismatic ending, and he needs to. I don't know. It's a tough one. I suppose Althari is pretty good, but he just needs to take out the early ramp. That's the play. His creatures interact so poorly with what's against him, such as the 2/1, the Tide Taker, the 2/2 that you can't cast spells on your opponent's turns, the 3/1, even the Blink creature.
Michael doesn't care about most of that.
No, not really.
It's gonna be a tough matchup.
It is a tough matchup. Who's your money on? Theoretically, not actual gambling.
I would love to see game 3.
You're also a green mage in Cube.
I'm not. I do love mono green. It's one of my favorite archetypes in Vintage Cubes. I actually rooted for it last year when it was on.
I
that
remember.
was
against Caleb. How dare you?
I know. Well, trust me. Don't worry. Caleb will never let me forget. So I was excited to see mono green last year. Didn't win. We got a chance to see it in the finals yet again.
Nice.
Got a shot. I think it's. I would imagine, and I've looked through all of the decks. I would think that if I were Michael and I could handpick a deck to play against in the finals, I would probably handpick Michael's deck.
Okay.
Or handpick Tim's deck. That
Okay.
would probably be the best matchup for him.
I think that's right. Do we have any sweepers or like balance or anything like that?
Well, we did not have balance. So that was actually something that I was looking for. That was something I was looking for in Tim's deck. And it's a lot of creatures. It's applying some pressure.
Mm-hmm.
It is a mid-rangey-esque aggro deck.
Okay.
Now, there is some tools. Notably, there's a Caracas in Tim's deck. That's good against Rofilos.
Is good against Rofilos.
Really good against Rofilos.
Yes.
Really good against Rofilos.
That is a pretty good answer.
So, but beyond...
What's the deal with Caracas?
So, Caracas is a land that's going to let you return a legendary creature of anyone's to their owner's hand.
Now that's pretty strong. What's the drawbacks?
It's legendary.
Oh.
Oh, actually, it does have another drawback. It only produces white mana.
It only produces white. How much damage do you take? 6, 7? What's the appropriate amount?
That'd be 0, but it's still you only get to produce white mana.
Wow.
Croc is still pretty strong, and not jesting.
One of the legend. Yes, it's very strong. It's also you got your Venser, you got Urza. Sometimes it does a lot.
It's one of the things that makes me whenever I'm playing. So we did a Vintage Cube draft earlier. I was in a Tinker Reanimator deck.
Oh,
and
you got the Tinker.
I did.
I passed it first pick.
And I decided not to play Gristlebrand, and I played Archon of Cruelty instead because I was going to be completely cold to Caracas. And then I played against it.
And?
Our good friend Michael had it, and then I reanimated Archon, and he was like, I guess I'm dead. And then they died. So we have Michael on a mulligan, but as we've seen, this is a very, very, very good mulligan deck. Not something that bothers Michael too much.
And we are in the finals of the CUBECON
2023.
2023.
CubeCon 2023. Whoever wins is going to get an incredible trophy and a very, very cool playmat. Tim Myers, Michael Gayod, we've had over 400 competitors here, and we're down to 2.
Fantastic.
You know what I spy? Oh, boy, in Michael's hand. I spy a Gaia's Cradle. I also spy a Blightsteel Colossus.
Okay.
Blightsteel, actually, one of the threats Tim would want to see because his removal is exile-based.
Yes.
He's got Leyline Binding and Path to Exile.
Oh, no, not like this. Not like this.
We see a Gaia's Cradle come down turn 2, meaning that is the only other land in Michael's hand. And even
there we go.
And we got another forest.
Let's see.
Michael letting out a sigh of relief there. You could tell he quickly drew that one, put it into play. Put it into play. And J-Bro, what do we have here?
Oh, no. How turn the tables. How quickly the turn tables.
He's going to deploy this. He's going to
Wow.
You're going to spend 1 extra to put out this Devoted Druid, which is actually smart. This is maybe a necessary blocker because Tim has a lot of exile-based removal, so maybe this is the one he wants to see. Are we going to see a Leyline Binding? We are.
Oh, wow.
And as I thought.
Good grief, Gobnasif, which also means has to block here, loses 3, gets triple Stone Rained off of this block,
so this
is all over but the crying. Game 1.
So this is the problem. This is the problem is that Michael, and that's the game 1's done.
Wow. Channel taketh away.
That's right. And
golly, that was lightning fast.
Yeah, we know that, like I said, exile-based removal. So Blightsteel is the one that he wanted to see because it's the one that his deck is best set up to deal with. He does not want to see something. He does not want to see something that has an enter the battlefield ability or a cast ability like an Ulamog. That would have been devastating.
Wow.
But instead, it's the one that says, I'm going to stay on the battlefield. I don't have haste. I'm going to untap and attack and kill you. And Tim says, well, great news. That's the exact type of card I can deal with, and he did. Michael had to spend so much life. He spent 13 life that turn after getting attacked for 5, putting him at 4.
Wow.
And 2 2s and 3 3s, that's good enough when you're at 4.
That's good enough.
You don't need a lot.
Well, it's also the difference between having a threat like an Ulamog versus having a threat like a Blightsteel Colossus. And you know what would have won him the game?
Well, if he could have he had that Finale of Devastation in his hand, and he actually chose to cast. Well, he didn't choose.
He didn't have the 2
He didn't have the 2. He didn't have the 2 green.
But also, much like Finale, giving haste. If he would have had the Lightning Greaves.
Lightning Greaves, that's true.
Would have won it. That's another thing. That's one of the quiet, beautiful parts of Lightning Greaves in this cube. It's really good in situations like that. It's also, and also with like Garga Barga, but it's also really good.
Also like what?
Garga Barga. The 6/6 for 5 that gets reach, trample. When it attacks or blocks, you get a 3/3 or a card or
Elder Gargaroth.
Yes, Garga Barga, as I said. There we go. See, look.
Elder Gargaroth.
Elder Garga Barga.
Great.
So it as we can see, you know, green's also got like prime time stuff like that. It's got a lot of good cards with it, but in your Reanimator decks, like with Grizzleband or other stuff, sometimes you need to haste up those critters because the 1 turn of delay might, you know, make your opponent first day.
Removal is very efficient. White has a lot of exile-based removal in cubes like this one, so having an auxiliary game plan other than just putting a big thing in play and saying, pass the turn, I hope you can't deal with it. You need more than that, and that's exactly what Michael found out in this last game.
That's right, and it's also gives it hexproof, or whatever the other one is.
Hexproof.
Or Shroud.
Shroud and Haste.
Shroud and Haste.
All right. We're going to game 2. We're going to have Michael back on the play.
That was surprising because Michael didn't actually die to his mana screw. There was some interplay there. Tim's Disruption was able to win. And not only that, Tim has... Oh, wait, no. That was the other white deck. Oh, never mind. Tim doesn't even have, like, the 2-mana instant speed one. Okay, we're off to the races, though.
Michael does have...
There we go. That's what I said.
Michael does have an Elvish Mystic that's going to get taken care of on the first turn with a Prismatic Ending. Only need a Plains to take out something with mana value 1.
It's so good.
Michael does not have a follow-up play as Tim shocks in a Godless Shrine and then deploys.
Is this going to be a Tide House? No. Oh,
Stoneforge
wow.
Mystic. Now,
Yeah,
here's the combo portion of Tim's deck where he can get,
Wow.
he's going to get a Cauldron Complete and threaten to put that onto the battlefield on turn 3. Michael's deck, not very removal heavy. And when I say not removal heavy, I mean blank. He's a questions only.
Yes.
I'm asking the questions. If you ask questions, I need to ask more difficult questions.
Yes. Yes. And we are already off to the races. This is going to be extremely hard. Michael is going to have, because it also makes Channel, he does have the Eldrazi in hand, but it makes Channel harder every single time it hits.
Right.
But if there's no draws, if there's a Channel right here, right now, we're still in this.
Yeah, it doesn't. Cauldron Complete is indestructible itself as well. It gives its creature indestructible, but it can be exiled just like everything else.
Yep.
So, but we only have one turn to draw the Channel, as you noted. Now, there are more turns to draw something like a Rofalos, potentially. Now, it looks like we drew an Ignoble Height. No, a Sakura Tri-Builder was the draw here.
Like a vault.
And this is a very, this is the quickest clock that Tim's deck is capable of putting down. And there's not a better time for Tim than to be up one game in the finals of CUBECon.
Okay, so turns out both times you predicted mono green is going to win. Looking both times rough.
It's a curse.
That's the mono green curse.
At some point, we have to look at me and say, maybe Justin, don't talk about mono green.
Well, it might depend who's rocking it. You might want to use that curse strategically.
I know, but see, it's just like not in my heart to do that. I just got to call them like I see them, and what I'm seeing right now is a 4th land from Tim Myers in the form of a scrub land as we go to a Steel Seraph, and that's actually probably going to give lifelink to this.
No, you get flying to the 2/2. We're getting in for maximum damages. I don't think we care.
Is it a 2/2? It's a 2/2 now.
I meant I was shortcutting. I meant that the Kithkin will be. But yeah, I think we just start. We just start rocking it. I like this.
We're attacking for 7.
Aggressive. Be aggressive. Because even if Tim gets a, if Michael gets like Gargadargabarga or trying to think what else I could even be at this point, we're still in a situation where the Germ can now just finish the game, as opposed to the additional 2 life where he could start, things could start going the other way. So I like this. I like the aggressive.
Right.
Oh. Something.
He popped a clue. Got another. He noted he got another land with Sakura Tri-Builder, so you get another clue back. He's just making sure that he makes sure the game state's correct. Here, you get another clue. Don't want you to forget that, Michael. Heads up play by Tim. Thank you.
Yes.
Even though we're in the finals of the tournament,
yes,
still this honesty and camaraderie from our competitors.
Amen. Love to see it.
And I see a Rofalos, I see an Ulamog, but I also see Michael at 8 life, which means that he's going to need to live and have everything go right, which is going to be difficult when all of these creatures likely are going to be flying. And I think we're going to see this crack of the clue.
Okay.
I hope we can find
But even
something.
Channel here, what could you possibly have that's going to...
Let's find out.
I don't know what...
All right, we're cracking the second clue, and this could be the extension of the hand. And that is it. Tim Myers very quickly winning the finals here of CubeCon.
That was the Sprecher of finals matches. That was incredible. What a comeback.
The Sprecher. Because you drink it quickly? There's still some left.
I'm already halfway down.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think that having again, I mean, that's the kind of combo nature of the green deck, is that you are all in on a very specific, it can go 2 ways. You can incrementally build up, but anyway, we're going to talk about it in a little bit. We're going to go to a quick break, and then we'll do our interview. Thanks, everyone. Bless up, homies. CubeCon.
All right. We are here with our winner for CubeCon 2023, Tim Meyer. Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Well done.
We have some things to award you.
Okay, great.
I want to ask you a couple of questions first.
Yep.
First, how did you feel about the deck you drafted? I know you won with it, but when you drafted it, how were you feeling? Did you think this is a deck that's going to take me to the promised land?
I texted my brother that of all the decks that I drafted relative to their the decks relative to the cube, I thought this was the worst one I've drafted the weekend. I did not feel like I got there. I first picked the Stoneforge Mystic, trying to kind of force mono white because I wasn't passing many white cards. The one drops never came around, so I was cobbling together some pieces. I have some cards I wouldn't have thought that would make it into a mono white deck, but it worked out, so I can't argue with the results.
And you know, ultimately, in a matchup that, and I'll be honest, I thought this was the toughest matchup for you in the top 8. And I don't know if you might not have had a chance to see Michael's deck, but very quick mono green deck.
Yeah.
And your first pick, Stoneforge Mystic, essentially won you the
carried
game.
that game. Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
It did, and that's exactly what you want. In the moment of need, it came in handy.
Your instincts were sharp.
The Kaldra was a interesting pick too, because in pack 3 I picked a Figure of Destiny over it because I was expecting I would be able to wheel the Kaldra.
Yep.
You
And
did.
I was very glad that that did come around.
Wow.
And that's the power of taking the early Stoneforge.
Right,
It
yeah, because
shatters
no one else
skulls.
wants it then.
Yeah, fantastic.
You
And
disincentivize it.
yeah, that was incredible. First of all, let me ask you this: Have you been on the Pro Tour?
No.
Have you?
I have never day 2 to GP. I played a couple.
Exactly. So we literally had, people like Reed Duke, Dom Harvey, Caleb Durward, all these pro players, Hall of Famers, and you carried the day. How do you feel about that? That's incredible.
It's just a testament to this format that
That's right.
That's what we want to hear.
That's right. Cube is amazing.
Cube is great. Anything can happen in any given match.
That's right.
So,
And let me ask you this: Were you, when you came into this tournament, what were your expectations? What were you thinking?
to have fun, and I absolutely did that.
Love it.
You had the maximum amount of fun, actually. As it turns out, you had more fun than anyone else, arguably. You got to play the most Magic.
That's
Yep, yeah.
Well, Joe Anderson played a lot of Cube this weekend.
That's true.
Yeah,
Joe did a lot. So, what was your mindset as the draft was going on? It sounds like you didn't have your expectation. You weren't meeting what you wanted to be doing. You were trying to go mono white, but there's some competition there.
Yeah.
So as things are going on, you're like, well, let me get some voice resurgence. Let me, go into this lane, that lane a little bit.
I was just kind of scrambling, picking up incidental lands for like the Leyline Binding. I picked highly in Athari,
That's a good one.
5 mana 3/3.
We talked about that one. We're both a big fan of that.
That's a good one.
I've played a little bit with that as well. I'm a big fan. So just trying to cobble things together since the white cards that I was looking for weren't all there.
Awesome. And where are you coming from?
St. Louis.
Oh, wow.
As we learned on his player profile.
Yes.
That's right. I am an old man with many children, so my memory is fading.
No worries.
You were able to overcome a start in the second round, Andrew Jab's
Yes.
wasteland into a strip mine.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Does that one feel good? Hang your head on that one?
I mean, we just keep playing.
That's-
Take one draw step at a time.
Amen.
Just make the best play, and
That's
then
exactly right.
Well, and what was your mindset as it was going on? You see, did it sink your heart? Or just
no,
like,
I was just playing at that point. There have been moments where like the moment got to me when I was like, especially in like the top 64 draft, when I was about to make top 8, and I was feeling that. And then in that second game, second game where I just won that, that was basically the only moments where like, okay, this is the thing that is happening.
That's awesome. And also, can you tell us a little bit about what brought you to CubeCon in the first place?
All the cubes. I was here last year, and it's just the chance to play all of these different cubes, to meet all these people who are enthusiastic about Cube. It just seemed like a great way to spend a weekend, and I'm right.
Yes,
It's the best.
You're absolutely right. And did you day 2 last time?
No, I was an alternate last time. Didn't make the cut.
Wow,
I did like
incredible.
mono 2-1s last year and no trophies, but I got a couple of trophies this time around. So
Nice. All right. Well, I believe Justin's got some cool stuff to present you with.
Well, Tim, you are in hallowed ground now.
Yes.
This is the second CubeCon. There's 2 champions, you and Caleb Durward. So I think
I beat Caleb in a trophy match for
Yeah.
the big
Oh,
cube.
wow.
yeah, you did.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Which
That's
which cube was that one?
The Maze fake cube.
Okay, nice.
nice. And I mean, that might have been the thing that vaulted you to here. You have stole his power.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now
good.
you two are the only two CubeCon champions there's ever been.
Yes, both equally talented, equally experienced players.
Right.
Just,
As far as I'm concerned, that's the case.
I get us mixed up sometimes.
You know why? Because there's only 2 trophies that I'm going to get to, and you guys are going to be the ones that have them. But we have a few things to give you. We have a ton of stuff from our friends at GameGenic. These are cube pockets for your cube.
Great.
Because I know you have cubes.
These are
I do have several.
these are pretty
Cubes,
awesome.
S with a plural.
Yes.
Well, of course, we have a nice can of Sprecker's root beer.
Yeah.
Of course.
Now, keep it on this side for safety.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me give you a little big
Bro, I don't want him to think that's one of his.
You have a few over there. Yeah.
We have a bottle of hot sauce from
That's
Sticker Mule.
hot sauce for the boss.
Believe it or not, but this is actually very good hot sauce.
Yes.
Sweet
And pretty
heat.
good stickers.
Yep. And we can put it back in this box for safety. But
Yes.
you know what? For now, we'll keep it out. We
for
have
now.
Yeah.
more stuff from GameGenic. Is
Yes.
Load me up.
I mean, yeah, we got.
Thank you to
These are the double sleeving pack.
Okay.
So if you're playing, you want to double sleeve your cube, you can do that. Huge
These
all
amount
of
of
it,
stuff.
yeah.
These are very good sleeves. for
Yes.
Cube.
Excellent quality.
Huge thank you to GameGenic for your support of this.
We have a
Appreciate your
cube
sponsorship.
map from Lucky Paper Radio.
Yes.
Awesome.
Which features all of the cubes here at CubeCon.
Is this
We-
one signed?
It can be.
Okay.
Yeah.
It can be.
We can make
That's
that
up.
happen.
That's up to you.
I know someone.
We have a CubeCon pin, just like J-Bro and I are spotting right now.
That's for
You
you.
got that officially. You have a really awesome set of foil tokens.
Can we take a look at those? Let's crack
Yeah,
those
let's
open.
Sure, yeah.
Let's see what's cracking.
So I'll let you take a look at those, then you can show them off on stream. So these are foil tokens of all of
QCon shirt design.
all of the
Yep.
tokens that we gave out to attendees. And there's not many of these. There's only 8 sets.
Very limited.
There's only 8
edition.
sets that were even printed at all.
And there's
total.
and
Oh, hey,
one-
there's you.
yeah.
Oh my God, that is the handsomest zombie I've ever seen. Incredible. Thank
Did you get to pick being a zombie?
Absolutely, I did.
No one actually gets to pick being a zombie. Kind of happens, but
I picked.
yeah.
I let it. I was. We have something very, very special. Everyone got a commemorative coin, but you are number 1.
Amazing.
You have
Yes.
coin number 1, which is really awesome.
Can we read the byline on there?
In Cube we trust.
Amen. That's right.
You have a champion playmat. I'll
The
show you
champ is
first
here.
before I show the camera. This is gold
Gold.
foil champion playmat.
For our champ.
Let you hold that up. We'll get some pictures on that, and then we have the big prize. And I got to be really careful with this one because it's extremely heavy.
Yes. Are you ready?
We have, and this is very heavy, a CubeCon
It is very
2023
heavy.
champion.
Look at
It's
that.
very heavy, marble and glass. Look at this amazing trophy. And Tim Meyer, let's everybody here give a round of applause. Congratulations for Tim. As the winner, incredible achievement.
Fantastic.
And you have absolutely earned it.
Thank
you.
Just say this year was incredibly tough. Had everyone that even made top 8 had to go through a murderer's row of people that were really motivated and really wanted to win. But you stand alone as CubeCon champion.
You and Caleb.
That's it.
You're in rare air.
Yes.
And thank you so much. Let me ask you this. What would be your message to anyone watching who wasn't able to attend this year?
Try to attend. Try to cube as much as you can. All year round, but especially during CubeCon.
Yes. That's very good advice. Well, thanks again. Congratulations. We are extremely happy to have our newest 2023 CubeCon champ, Tim. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna let you put that back because I know that is
Yep. How's this go?
heavy.
And
And
we will
here, I'll turn it.
Sure.
we will
You
see
go.
This-
you guys next year. Thanks for tuning in. CubeCon. It's going to be
I
a
got you.
blast.
I got you.
Join us next time.
Okay.
Bless up,
Yeah.
homies.
All right, so we're gonna let Tim take out of the booth, and J-Bro and I are gonna send you off. So we're gonna take just a very, very 30-second break so we can get Tim cleaned up, and then we will be back to send you off with everything. Thank you very much, Tim.
Okay.
Amazing. What a format.
What a format. What a con. What an event.
The-
This is like the dreams come true. Dreams come cube.
Dreams come cube, and the greatest. I mean, and I know we both feel like this. This is the greatest format in all of Magic.
Absolutely. The greatest event of all year, for sure.
Yep.
And Tim knocked it out of the park. I am just blown away. And again, it's exactly what I said. Anything can happen at CubeCon.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
We've seen the favorites of the field go down round after round on
Including-
coverage.
Including in the last round
Yeah.
with the mono green deck.
And it's incredible. And this is just, what an incredible format. And,
Sorry.
we have, I just want to thank people. We've spent a lot of this time thanking people. I want to thank a handful of people, but we do have one more sponsor.
Yes, I also want to thank one person in particular. It is Steve and his company CubeHeads. Hey, you want more Cube content? You want to see more dope interviews with awesome Cube personalities? Well, check out CubeHeads, a Cube drafting channel focused on bringing you the personalities and experiences from the Cube scene. Visit them at youtube.com/@CubeHeads.
That's right, /@CubeHeads.
Okay? That is youtube.com/@CubeHeads. I will say the owner of it, Steve, has been around all week. He's one of our first sponsors, really believed in us, and he is just doing such a good job, producing such amazing content. Just incredible. Highly, highly, highly recommend checking out CubeHeads. His videos are great, and thank you so much for the sponsorship. You're awesome.
Yep, thank you very much. I want to thank my play group at Battlegrounds in Richmond,
Yes.
Virginia, for cubing with me over the last year. I
Thank you.
moved to a new city, and Magic has always been the way that I've been able to connect with people and meet new people. So all
was
of
the
you,
way.
all of you at Battlegrounds specifically, great store if you're ever in the Richmond, Virginia area. So I appreciate you guys. I want to say again to our partners at NRG,
Yes.
we couldn't have done it without you.
Great job.
And Jay Bro, I want to thank you for putting all of this together. And I know you had your speech in front of everyone, as you like to do, and you thanked everyone else. And the only person that was left off for all the important people was yourself. And I want to make sure that you know that I appreciate you,
Thank you.
because this is your brainchild, and we're here. We've created this incredible event. You,
Yes.
me, and a handful of others. We've had almost 500 people here this weekend.
Yep.
Everyone had an amazing time. We're bringing so much joy, and you bring so much joy, not just to the group of people that were here, but the entire Cube community. And we are very fortunate to have you. That this is what you decided to focus on in your Magic career. So thank you for being you. I appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you very much. I just, again, I want to thank you. You were this would not happen without you 100%. And you were the first person you were one of the first two people when I really had the idea and came to it. You were very gracious and very accepting, willing to let my pestering continue a bit, and like, oh, this is a good idea, and give me some encouragement as opposed to just shoving me off and saying it's a stupid idea, which most people did when I first came to him with it. So thank you, and also just thanks for all the work. You're such a talent. Thank you to all of our judges, all of our volunteers,
Yes.
all the rest of the organizing team, to Nerd Rage Games. Thank you to all of our sponsors, if I didn't say that already, and what else? Oh, Tappy Toe Claws, all the other personalities that came through. Vincent, I'm sure I'm missing a bunch of people, but this is really, and most of all, thank you to the participants who
Right.
came and made this happen, donated the cubes, played the cubes, had such a special time here. I hope that people watch this content a lot over the year and rewatch it and see it, because there's really magic happening at multiple levels. Thank you guys so much. Bless up, homies, and that's all I got.
Okay. Well, that is all for CubeCon 2023. If you didn't make it out this year, thank you for watching.
Thank you. Bless up, homies. See you next year. CubeCon!